Read something into the record, and then we'll move on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The meeting of the Cannabis Control Board of the City of Jersey City held Monday, March 23rd at approximately 5:13 p.m. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by email to the Bergen Record. Roll call, please.
Chairperson Kaplowitz.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Patel was absent.
My understanding is that Mr. Patel is undergoing some type of medical procedure.
Okay. Commissioner Naparowski.
Here.
Commissioner Stavel.
Here.
And Commissioner Pepe.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank goodness.
Oh, absolutely. First case we're going to hear is CCB 22-11, The Leaf Joint LLC at 391 Central Avenue for renewal.
You certainly could make yourself comfortable at the table here, and then perhaps you can indicate who's going to be testifying this evening. Both of you? One of you? None of you? All right. Before you have a seat, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. Could you please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record?
My home address?
That's fine. Yeah.
Both. It's
Some
not
people
on.
say you're not allowed to give your home address. I disagree with that line of thought, but whatever you're comfortable
Well,
with.
yeah, I give the dispensary.
You really don't want
My
any
name is
visitors.
David
You
Jeff.
really don't want any visitors at your home.
Yeah, you're right. David Jefferson, 391 Central Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07307.
Welcome. And I know we swore you in, so your name, last name, and an address?
Charmaine De Jesus, and my address is 31 Neptune Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07305.
All right, welcome. I'll turn it
Just turn on your microphone.
Thank you.
turn it over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening. You've been in business for a few years at this point.
Yes.
So I would like you to address the promises that you made when you were first here for your application. The number, and I do see in the report that you have a Jersey City person out of 3, I believe.
Jersey City what? I'm sorry?
How many people you have employed?
No, it's actually, it's 5 at this time.
5. Okay. I'd like you to tell us how many Jersey City employees you have out of that 5. Tell us also what you've done to contribute to the surrounding neighborhood and to the charities that you promised that you would help.
Yeah, well, the charity work never stopped. We're constantly doing things in the area, from things as book bag giveaways. We've also worked with Community First. Probably heard of him, Joe and Dave. 2 good guys. We work with them on the big book bag drive they give every Thanksgiving. The one going into Christmas, and we have one coming up for Easter that we're a part of. We also have another nonprofit we work with, Save a Few. Polanda Glover is the CEO of it, and we've done many things with her as well. With the kids, we just contributed to a play that was at Jersey City State College that they were able to bust a lot of the kids in to actually see the play. It was a Black History Month. So we do everything from ice cream socials where we have the ice cream during the summer. We have the Mr. Softy, but a version of it. Pull up in front of the dispensary and we just give out ice cream on a warm day. So the charitable work has always been there. I think we have 5 employees. They all
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 is from Jersey City. We've had very little turnover. Most of the people that started from day one is still there. So it's just
From your perspective, since you were the first one that we're actually renewing, I'd like some feedback. I'd like the feedback that what you've experienced starting up the business, that was a positive that we could use moving forward, and negatives.
Oh, where do I start?
Well, it's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. Well, we were actually the first one to open in the area, the Heights. So there was no one else there. It's really just the competition that we just allow when, I don't know, we just somehow mismanaged that number of how many were supposed to open in Jersey City. It could be a great business, but if we cut the price too many ways, it's just not profitable. You know what I mean? We're chucking along, but as they continue to open in the area, it could take effect. Yeah, as you can see, there has been a couple in the area, not too far, that's actually closed down already, right? So we're constantly trying to do things to make sure that we keep our head above water with that, but yeah, it's really the competition thing that we need to, and that distancing rule. We fought that, lost that battle. So now, it's just who's ever rubber stamping dispensary licenses, it needs to stop.
I thank you for your comments. They're very, very helpful. It really is.
Right.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Right.
On both parts. Any other questions from the board?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
Go.
So, Mr. Jefferson, initially, you had a percentage of 33%, and that has increased to 51?
No, it was.
As of June 27th.
Yeah. I think it was the third.
Zillow testified, well, he didn't testify, he's an attorney. He indicated to the board that there were 3 folks and each had 33%.
I believed the initial was wrong. It was supposed to be it's just me and my sister, and my wife has a small percentage of 9%, but
Is that reflected with the state?
it is reflected with the state. Yeah, I think your paperwork was wrong, but it's reflected with the state.
Could you
Well,
send us?
I mean, the resolution that we passed on June 27, 2022, their attorney at the time was Mr. Pizzillo from Genova Burns. And although he didn't testify, but he said that the applicant is comprised of 3 owners participating in equal partnership, 33% each. So perhaps Mr. Pizzillo at the time was wrong.
Right.
Yeah, he was, but that's the actual percentages is reflected correctly with the state.
Right. Okay. Do me a favor. Could you send that document to the office, and this way we have up-to-date records.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the indication that Mr. Pizzillo next introduced Ms. Pamela Jones, a
Yeah.
one-third owner.
Yeah. She lives with me.
And she has more authority
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
33%.
She owns all of it.
Well, she's she's known as the pit bull.
Yeah. That she
did read
is.
that,
That
that's
she
right.
is.
The other question that I have, and this is not meant to be derogatory, but with respect to the municipal cannabis taxes, one of the things that the board is supposed to determine whether or not the applicant has met all of the city's local licensing requirements and everything else that's set forth in the chapter. And it appears that you haven't been delinquent, but the time periods have been somewhat delayed.
It is a challenge. That's all I can tell you. It's I think we're doing the best we can to make sure that we stay on top of the fees as well as the taxes, but you got to understand as competition moves into the area, as you can see, some of them went out, and I don't know where they were at from a tax standpoint, but I was sure they were probably delinquent as well.
Well, and I don't think that, the way the taxes work, if you make $100,000, it's 2% of that. If you make $10 because of the competition, it's 2% of that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. In the, if you want to simplify it, that it doesn't really work out like that on a day-to-day basis. It's really money coming in, trying to pay for bills, trying to pay for product, trying to employ employees, and we
I
get.
get it. I'm an attorney. I'm the last guy who gets paid. My
Yeah,
clients
yeah,
tell me
yeah,
about the
yeah,
rent.
yeah.
They tell me about the
Right.
doctors. But the board will, at some point, be considering some additional teeth when folks don't pay the municipal cannabis.
Well, I would push back and say I think you should lighten it up.
And, we appreciate that.
I mean, I get it. I mean, it's a new business, right? And to be a stickler the way we are, I mean, there's people selling just as much weed as we're selling in illegal spots, and they pay no taxes.
Agreed.
They get to run in a free of having anyone show up. You come out and you grab some weed every 7-8 months. You don't come back for another 7-8 months. It's worth it.
Well, I think you're going to see that change. The new mayor understands that
Yeah. So
the 2% that's going to the Board of Education to teach children is being denied. And businessmen like yourself who've spent all this time working are hurting. You can't compete with $15 an eighth.
You sure can't.
Right.
And then with the other competition of the legal dispensaries open with the illegals, and I'm in the middle of it, it became. So I really think that the city should be just a little bit more understanding of the challenges of what it was. It's not as clean cut as we thought it was going to be at the beginning, or as rosy, and we're just cranking money out. It's not that. So it's it's a challenge like any other business to make sure you stay up on top of your bills and your taxes, and we do the best we can.
And there's some recent legislation. In fact, Maynard and myself I've got a presentation for him to see how we can shut down some of the vape shops.
Yeah.
Right,
There's finally some teeth.
Well, that's good. It's good to hear.
right. So I'm assuming that the initial analysis of what your profit margin was going to be has decreased.
Yeah, it is.
I can sympathize with you, but I think that moving forward, there's a new administration that understands that, and I think that that we're going to get some things done.
Okay. And
Are there any other questions? I'll open it up to the public for any comments. Seeing no comments, we can close that portion out. And I'll entertain discussions on this application for renewal and a motion. Any comments? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, we have and by the way, the motion, just to clarify, the motion is to approve renewal. Okay. Little technicality.
yeah, there you go.
Okay, could you call the vote, please?
Chairperson Kapowitz,
I vote yes, and I hope that things get better for you.
Commissioner Naparowski,
Vote yes.
Commissioner Stovall. Commissioner Pepe.
Vote yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carries. Good luck.
All righty.
Okay, next one is legacy, right? The next case is legacy to lifted, CCB 22-26 at 490 West Side Avenue, Jersey City. Please step forward. Is there anybody here from Legacy? Legacy? They didn't ask for a, no. Okay, then we're going to move on to the next one. And we'll send them a letter. I think they're smoking their product too much. The next item is Ham and Chase, CCB 2343 at 747 West Side Avenue.
All right, please make yourself comfortable. Counselor, please enter your appearance into the record.
Yes, Edward N. Tobias, attorney for Hammond Chaz LLC.
Welcome, Mr. Tobias. Nice to see you again. Who's
Yes.
going to be testifying? All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Charles Peters, Peters, 747 Westside Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, 7007306.
Your witness, Mr. Tobias.
Yes, Mr. Peters, if you could just kind of, you heard the last testimony, if you
Yeah.
could just kind of give your input as to how your experience has been over the last year. And
You know-
any things that you could do to improve or just, abide by the board.
And also include what you promised at your first hearing.
Yes.
And how you've, gotten to this point with those promises.
So it's been interesting. You know, we've had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, we had the great, amazing feat of getting open, but we paid rent for 3 years prior to it, so we didn't have the cash that everyone had. So we had to pretty much starve ourselves and make it this far. I agree with the gentleman that went prior to us because, it was such a great, amazing feeling coming in this room, getting awarded this license. And then the day we opened, we saw the reality of the margins just aren't what we thought they were going to be. Then it wasn't just, I'm not opposed of, people having a chance at this, right? But the number grew of legal dispensaries, and not just the legal dispensaries, but the smoke shops. And in my area, it's very unique. It's very rough. Everyone we kind of interact with, they don't even know the difference between a smoke shop and a dispensary. I'm constantly educating the public. I kind of feel bad because, we come off a little snarky because I can't let a gentleman your age walk in without presenting me an ID, and they take offense to that. Excuse me.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it when somebody proves me.
Yeah.
You would
I mean,
be-
I haven't heard that in years, by the
Yeah,
way.
I
And
mean,
it's
I'm like, don't you want to proof me? No,
I would love for you to come in and do that, to be honest.
I prefer Scotch. But, yeah.
But no, I get everything. I mean, I've been threatened several times.
really.
Yeah. So it's just, it's trying. I'm very much in the public. Like, we gave away 50 turkeys our first year when we had nothing. We were barely paying ourselves.
Right.
And we gave away 50 turkeys. And then we gave away well over 200 toys for Christmas and stuff like that. And we love being a part of the community. I get out there and I clean the street every day.
I compliment you on that because a
Every
lot of
day.
people don't.
But I do that every day because I want a better experience for the people that come and shop. I want to attract other customers. I don't want them to feel discouraged because there's other people out there that don't want you to come shop with me, because that happens. They'll walk up and give them a eighth for free. How can I compete with that? If they were all going underneath the same tax regulations and had to follow the same rules, it'd be a little bit more challenging. It'd be an even playing field for us. I wouldn't mind that, because then it's who has the better business, right? Who has better customer service, the product and all that. But we're here, we're open, we're happy, we're appreciative, but we do need help. We would love for the city to help us because it's hard. I'm not
Help
seeing
you
it.
especially crack down on unauthorized cannabis sources.
Yes.
Right. Believe me, I've been saying that for a couple of years already. And it disturbs me when I walk into a place and they're not even hiding it. It's right on the front counter. It's not nice.
Yeah.
And besides, I will say this. Anybody who buys product from one of these stores, smoke shops, are endangering themselves. No one could sell an eighth of pot for $15 and go through everything to make it clean, organic, and viable to enjoy. Something is mixed into it that could hurt someone severely.
Yeah. Mr. Peters, if you want to testify to the board about your issue with the IDs, that the smoke shops are essentially taking IDs as a show that they're as legitimate as the licensed retail stores. And that essentially, what I informed as an attorney is that the CRC licensed stores, we can't keep any of that information except for if we have a loyalty program, and that would be voluntarily. But the smoke shops are taking the IDs and they're scanning them, and you don't know where that information is going. So that's one more problem with the
Really?
illicit shops, yes.
Some of them even have the sign on the front that say you got to be 21 and older to come in. What do I need to be 21 and older to go into a?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Now, it's out of control, and I think that the new administration understands that, and they're going to do something about it. And also, it's depriving the Board of Education, because the 2% that you pay goes to educating Jersey City students.
They pay it ahead of time.
Right.
So I understand that helps educate, but I think, if the city would think about it and maybe think about the operating hours, because accessibility is the best ability. If you were allowed us to stay open later, we could fight the street. I'm going to be available to that client.
What are you open till
You-
now,
you,
10
you-
o'clock?
To 11.
You
11.
testified that you would be open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes.
Have you been sworn in?
And you want
I don't
more
know.
than that.
Yes.
Do you find that,
Give me an example.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning?
2 o'clock would be great. If I could stay open to 2 o'clock, we have a pickup window equipped for it. We're
You're
prepared.
sworn in.
Yes, yes.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
also,
Please,
okay, sorry.
please state your name, spell your last name, give us your address.
Jamie Ham, Hamm, 747 Westside Ave.
Go ahead, Ms.
By
Ham.
way
Before-
of
before you
introduction, I
go.
want to make sure that both of these are the owners of Ham and Chance.
Right. Before you do that, understood that people later on, I can understand that. Do you find that the 10 a.m., do you get any,
It's hit or miss. When we were open a little earlier, sometimes we would get like people commuting, but we had to shorten because we didn't have the available funds to make the payroll. If I did have that onslaught of foot traffic that we were all thinking we were getting, it would be definitely worth it. But if we were available later, I think you'd see a huge difference, because why would I go here when this is available to me? And it's like you're saying, safe. And then the education part, because majority of the clients, they just don't know the difference. They can't tell the difference because they look the same almost,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But if there was education behind it on you should expect as a consumer, it would help a lot.
I like the idea about education.
I was just going to say that Atlantic City, which is similar to us as we're going to get in the state, they just recently opened up 24 hours to their dispensaries. And I feel like we are in a position with our pickup window where we could run that type of operation, if we could staff it, with just that window open, without having to let anybody come in or out of the store. We would just work that window, and we would be able to handle the street without them having to go somewhere else during those hours. If that was something that the board was open to letting us do. We have that unique opportunity that I don't think a lot of any of the other stores have.
We don't have that authority, but we certainly could suggest it to the city council.
Absolutely.
And that 2% tax would come in handy because think about it, you're compounding it probably if you just have 8 of us. How many wards are there? I'm sorry, 6 wards. So if you had even 6 of us staying open an extra 4 more hours, that would do some good.
Especially at least as late as the bars are open.
Well, bars close at 2, right?
That too.
Okay. Yeah, hey, look, I don't have a problem if it helps you stay in business and you're not disturbing the neighborhood. I don't think there's a problem with that. And I don't know, we will certainly approach the city, the council, and ask them about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That would be good. And I just wanted to go back to what we were saying before about the expenses And just the fact
Talking to the
that-
mic, please?
Yeah, just the expenses and the fact that, we've already paid to date $294,000 in rent, which is just absolutely insane. Because we were told 4 years ago, when we put that deposit down, that we were going to be one of 10 dispensaries open. And now there are 25, I believe, operating, and countless illegal operations operating. And we worked very, very hard and were granted $250,000 from the NJEDA as a grant. And that entire grant went to the landlord, not only because we had to pay a holding fee that entire time, because we were required to have property control, but then Jersey City put us on hold for a year, where we had to continue paying very high predatory rent. That's now putting us out of business, and we're facing litigation with that landlord because we can't afford it. And that operations money would have kept us going, and we had to pay it all to him. So we're in tough shape right now.
And I fully appreciate what you're going through. I sat through all those meetings, as you remember me, and it's frustrating from our point of view also that it took so long. I mean, it was not planned out well, and the people who planned it are no longer here. They thought they
Right.
were going to move someplace else, and we're stuck with the problems. And hopefully that we could, and that's why I'm asking these questions, because we all agree that we want to make it a better, format that you guys can survive. I want to see the locals survive more than the multi-state operators.
Well, a big thing that would help that would be alleviating this $15,000 annual fee that's putting, we're due for that next month, and we don't have it. So, if you look at our taxes that we've paid on time every single quarter, we're not making the money to do it. So that's something that should be looked at overall, and maybe look at what people's finances are and do it in a tiered, if people are doing over a certain amount of revenue, fine. But if we're not, to expect us to be able to pay that to stay open, it's just too much.
Right. One win-win for the city is, even though we paid a great deal of money in rent income, a lot of that money went to property taxes for the city. So essentially, the city did benefit from the rent. So there may be ways to abate or defer some of those payments as well, just because the city did receive the money in a roundabout fashion from the owners here.
Well,
That's a good point, actually.
yeah, it is. And I'll tell you, again, I sympathize. I mean, I try to make sure I shop locally for everything.
It's probably rhetorical, but what would be a reasonable annual fee? I'm not this board has absolutely no control over what those fees are. That's an ordinance by the city council, but what?
I would say a percentage of our annual revenue
Honestly,
or a profit.
I would say
mean,
nothing in the
we're-
first couple
right.
years.
We're not.
because
We're
it's
not
so
even
hard.
paying. We're not even making payroll. We can't even pay ourselves.
I'm there 70 hours a week. I don't see my kid.
And I think that we have to take a look at it, and if we talk among ourselves and try to convince the elected officials who are facing a $250 million deficit,
Yeah.
and we're all going to get hit with that, maybe there is a progressive way of dealing with fees based upon the size of the business and the proof of your income tax, your 1040s that can justify what your expenses are and what your income is, and as you grow, you'll pay more.
Right.
Would it
Well,
be
we were hoping the
possible?
landlord would see the same and work with us too, but
Well, that we have no control over.
Would it be
possible for the board to put into consideration the amount of time people have been paying rent on an empty store?
You know something? I don't think that we're going to see any new operations. I think it's maxed out, and I think that there was no way of stopping it when we were first through this, in 22, 23, 24. And I don't see how anybody could actually make a go of it if they came in today. So,
Arnold, I mean, forgive me, I didn't quite understand what you're saying. Are you suggesting that maybe the board tries to do some rent control for?
No.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting is that we give the council a very thorough understanding of exactly what the problem is.
Yeah.
The council just gave themselves raises. They have
Yeah.
been collecting on the property taxes that these people have been paying without being able to do their business. Jersey City put people behind for at least a year. There has to be some kind of accountability for that. And
Thank you.
as a
Hence
ci-
waiving perhaps the annual fee for a
Precisely.
year, 2 years?
Make the annual fee waived for the amount of time people were left out there stringing in the wind.
Now understand, thank you.
I would
Thank
support
you,
that.
It's a wonderful suggestion.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. I agree.
in the scheme of things, if it helps, the small operators, I'd be in favor of that. And I don't know if, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if we can convince anybody above our pay grade, which is 0.
And additionally.
But I would definitely advocate for that.
Right. And additionally, if we can keep the small operators in business for a little while longer at least, the federal government, might be able to alleviate some of the 280E tax issues too.
Yeah.
By moving cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3.
Right, I mean, under the present format, you can't deduct any of your business expenses to get down to net income. You're paying on gross income
Yes.
and gross expenses.
I think the only thing we can do is security.
Yeah, there's some CPAs
the only thing
that
we can do
figure
is
out how to.
Right, yeah,
If there
And
are
most
some
of us
CPAs,
aren't
we should be
running
sharing that
armed guard
information as
anymore.
well.
say, sir?
And most of us aren't running armed guard anymore because it costs too much.
Yeah.
Right.
It costs way too much.
Yeah, well, you bring in an interesting point. And you did say in a couple of instances, people who came in didn't want to give you their cards, but have you found anybody who you felt threatened by?
I mean, they get upset. I mean, I don't feel threatened.
Well,
right?
that I can understand.
I try
I've
to,
felt intimidated. I have
well,
before,
half the
though.
size, no.
I've felt intimidated before.
you know,
Have you?
Yeah.
I think like I just recognize kind of like my peers, right? And some of them just don't know. They just don't know, and they just take offense to it. And some of it's ignorance, but some of it people just don't know.
Right.
So you kind of just have to educate them. I try to beat them with kindness and education. And we live in Jersey, so not everyone's the nicest sometimes. But
Understatement.
but again, if we can just get like some reprieve, and like we don't mind working for it. That's why I said even you let us stay open later.
Yeah. I have to say, under the new administration, the previous administration had a war mentality when it came to policing, that it was a foreign force stationary in certain places as, a Fort F or whatever. It's now going back to the old school of like having walking cops on bikes.
Seen it
motorcycles.
already.
Huh?
I've seen it already.
So, maybe, and I would suggest that go around to the other merchants on the block. You're now established as a merchant there, and you want to have a meeting with the police division person, and ask for the cops to do more walking and stopping in every store. You'll be able to help them if someone's a problem in the area, and they'll be able to help you by being visible. And that would alleviate having an armed guard on site.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's a new day. Let's see what we can have.
yes, I agree. It's just doing I go to a lot of the community meetings and I listen to the community around me, and they complain about the same thing. The mom that pushes her kid in the stroller doesn't like the same things that I don't like, right? So I don't really have to be that vocal. If you just literally sit in some of these meetings, you'll hear verbatim almost
Right.
what I'm saying. So
Right. It's always good to voice. No one's ever accused me of keeping my mouth shut.
I did want to bring one other thing up while we have your attention.
Sure.
Right after we were approved years ago, another dispensary was approved right next door to us. We share a wall.
You're-
747 and 749.
Okay.
I just don't want to bring it up. No, I still want to bring it up. So they never moved forward with opening, which was great because that would have been ridiculous. However, it's come to light that they are now trying to sell that location, that license, in a
Well-
fire sale for $49,000.
Hold it. My understanding, I'll let Maynard
Yeah,
answer.
that
It's our
won't
understanding that they can't sell until they're open for 2 years.
Yeah.
They can only sell up to 49%.
There's workarounds around.
There's management services agreements, there's ways around that, and there was an offer made for someone to go ahead and purchase that, and they were told that they spoke with the CCB and were told that this new buyer would not need to go through the approval process again.
Yeah, that's a
That,
lie.
that's not right,
Yeah.
That's
because
just a lie.
that has not happened. I mean,
Do we know
We haven't
what
had
the
that conversation.
maximum in that ward is? Do we know?
I think it's probably about six,
Well, the new ordinance is 8 per ward.
8 per ward.
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head on how many are in that ward, but there have been some.
But they were already approved.
Yes,
Well,
but there's
getting
also- but
approved
there's
is
also
different
some
than
con-
opening.
Yeah, but there's also been some conversation, I can't get into a lot of details on how long are we going to allow these businesses to not move forward? Because
Right.
we've actually sent out questionnaires, getting updates on what's the status, like where do you stand? Are you being held up at the state? Are you in the build-out process? And the new council members are really focusing on what's happening with these resolutions that are just sitting out there. So, I mean, I do expect to see some changes. I don't know exactly what that will be at this time because, it's a brand-new administration, and we have to look at what we can do legally with some of these businesses that have not moved forward. And some have told us that they were moving forward, and later on, we found out from the landlord that they really had been evicted from the place, from one particular place. I won't name the address. So we are looking to move on making the change there, where they're actually going to lose the resolution.
So one of the things that the board may indeed recommend as an ordinance change is that your resolution of support expires in X amount of months if you don't do anything.
And if they sell out to another party or another company or another LLC, it's my understanding that they have to start the process all over. They're not just going to pick up somebody else's approval.
But we're not even accepting any new applications.
Right.
Yeah,
And they
at this
just
point.
can't come in and say, well, we were approved back in 2023, and these people are now going to open. We're not going to allow that.
No, it's different. It's
Well,
considered.
that's what I would think,
Yeah,
but they
it's-
were told no by whoever they spoke to, that they were good to go.
I can
So-
guarantee you,
Correct.
But they didn't
You're
speak to
listening
anyone
to
in
the
our
real voice here.
office. Yeah,
Good.
You definitely didn't speak to anyone in my office.
Okay, thank you.
right. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody in the public would like to make a statement or have any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion on the table for approval, non-approval?
Motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, please call the vote.
Chairperson Kaplowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Naparowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Stovall,
Yes.
Commissioner Pepe.
Yes.
Motion carries. Some very good suggestions. We thank you, and certainly the board will take them under consideration, and some of them may be suggestions to the governing body to change the ordinance.
We're going to fight for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's legacy. So the next one is Hammond Chase?
That's the one we just
Oh,
did.
Jesus
again,
Christ, I
yeah.
apologize. Jersey Leaf.
Correct.
I didn't either.
All right, good evening. Who's going to be testifying?
I'll testify.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah. Let the record reflect that Commissioner Naparowski is recused on this application. He's left the dais, and he's having a seat in the gallery. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
William Pena, last name spelled Pena. Address is 554 West Side Avenue,
And this is
07304.
correct? Right, you're here
Yes,
for-
Jersey Leaf.
Okay, what would you like to tell the board, sir?
Hold on, hold
Oh,
on, hold
sorry.
on, hold on.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question.
Don't we not have a quorum now?
Because if they're
Oh,
accusing us.
No, no, as long as, oh boy, yeah, I mean, the city actually pulled me on that one, even though I'm of the opinion if someone is recused, they're still part. I mean, we had a quorum when we started the meeting, but you're right. All right, so I'm sorry, we no longer, city council has yelled at me several times, so if there's less than 4 people sitting up here, we don't have a quorum and we cannot proceed with your application.
I'm sorry.
I have a little bit of a different take, as long as there are 4 people here to start the meeting and somebody recuses themselves. But they're my bosses, I listen to what they say, so unfortunately, we cannot hear your application, I'm sorry.
We'll move you to the 27th of April. You can still operate.
We could start operate though, right?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Right.
We'll put you on, can we put them on first? Yeah.
Yes. The only problem we're gonna have, if he's gonna continue to recuse himself, we're not gonna have a quorum.
No, he's coming back, just for this
No.
application.
Next month.
Next month.
Here, then
Oh, okay.
Well, let's hope Patrick is here, right? Yeah.
Okay. We'll put you on for next month. You can still operate.
It's not gonna slow up anything. All right.
Right.
I mean, this is our fault.
All right.
All right.
So the application fee could get paid next month, or it needs to get paid right now? I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I'll let the boss answer that
We don't-
question.
Even? All right, cool. We're renewing it right now. It should, we up on the agenda for the end of this month with the state. 31st. So our license renews in April what? It renews in April, expires April.
There is some case law that suggests the board can't make a decision with less than a quorum.
No, it's
Even
all
though
right.
we started the meeting, we had a quorum.
It's all right. We understand. Things happen all the time.
Good.
Yeah, because your license expires on the 13th.
Yeah, on the 13th.
Yeah.
You still have time. You can pay it by the 13th or
13th?
before.
Okay.
And then we'll bring you in
On the 27th?
7.
The 27th of April.
Send me an email.
All right.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, gentlemen.
That's all right.
But you
Thank
can still operate.
Nope. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We apologize.
Okay, that's Leaf. And Green Stop is basically adjourned. High ground here? Oh, they moved to the 27th also,
moved to,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so the next one is Prime Genetics on 26 Cornelius Avenue.
Good to have you back.
Okay,
Good to have
This
you
is a
back.
new application.
right, this is for cultivation. Yes. Okay, let me call it first. Hold on.
Just make sure complicated.
Prime Genetics LLC, CCB 26-86, 26 Cornelius Avenue, Jersey City. It's a Class 1 and Class 2 cultivation and manufacturing.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Have a seat. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Yes, my name is Steven, Steven. Last name is Lay, L-E. Address is 26 Corneliuson, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07304.
What would you like to tell the board?
Before we
about-
do that, you're a resident of New Jersey?
Jersey City also,
Jersey.
born and raised.
Okay.
I still live on the same block.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, in the same house.
Wow, good for you.
Good evening, Commissioner, Chairperson, Council.
Oh, just so that the record is clear, I am indeed in receipt of your notice of publication and notices to residents within 200 feet of the subject property. So
Correct.
Jurisdiction, because the rules have changed. Jurisdiction is now vested in the board to hear this application. So I'm sorry for the interruption. Go ahead.
Any questions you want me to answer or anything?
So I need clarification. I was confused. I know the building well,
Yes,
and I know that you're taking the full 35,000 square feet.
correct.
And that you're using it for 9 planting.
Ballrooms, correct.
So I need you to discuss further. your application shows that you're 100% owner,
Yes, correct.
but there's an affidavit of liquidity and financial capacity that states Eric Alexander is an investor and guarantee for 12 months of expenses,
Well,
but doesn't state is he a partner of you? Is he a mortgage?
he's not a partner. He's a credit line. So he's giving me a 5-year credit line on the build out. Once we get approval, he opens the credit line for 5 years at 0% interest for me to start my business.
Sweet.
So, I'm sorry, before we go any further, forgive me. May I call you Steve?
Yes.
Steve, I've got an indication that Rose is your.
Yes, it was last minute, so Rose can't represent me tonight since it was last minute and we couldn't coordinate correctly.
So you have no objection to going forward without an attorney, correct?
I have no objection, correct.
You don't agree to anything then.
So, I also,
No.
my family owned a restaurant on Newark Avenue, Saigon Cafe. We've been there 27 years. So we're long-term residents.
Please go into more detail about, and again, he has his authority over your operations.
No
over your-
authority at all. I control everything 100%. He's a good friend of mine that was an executive at Uber that's helping me to start my business as a thank you gesture.
Okay. All right, so he has absolutely zero influence over you, zero participation in the business, in the profits, or anything else.
Correct.
But he does have the ability to foreclose on you.
Yes. Well, not foreclose, but if I don't pay the line of credit, it's a line of credit, so with 0% interest, he's taking a gamble on me.
Is he asking for any collateral?
No collateral at all.
Yeah, I saw that in the document, no collateral. And I hope you succeed, because cultivation in town is an important factor, in my opinion, for business here. But with that said, you're the one that's on the record with the state of New Jersey and with us as 100%
Yes.
owner.
Yes.
Nothing in his agreement, and I couldn't see it, but maybe you can clarify, there is
There's-
no way that he could take over your business.
There's no agreement with him, nothing, just a line of credit. And with that, it's just like paying off a credit card bill. He gives me the funding as a line of credit with stipulation of what I use it on with receipts. So once we start the build out phase and hiring contractors, working with PSE&G, TRC Group, Donnelly Energy, he releases it in phases for me until I start up and running and then pay him back.
Okay, last question regarding this, and then we'll move on to other things. Is there a minimum and maximum on the credit line that he's given you? Because my understanding is to create, you're doing about, out of that 35,000, you're probably doing what? About 25, 30,000 square feet that's going to have to be
So
totally
the
renovated to create the growing facility.
So the maximum on the credit line he's giving me is $5 million.
Okay. All right.
Because I took into calculations of all the rebates from PSE&G, TRC Group, Donnelly, and working with the state on energy efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that into calculation when I proposed the business plan to him, and he said, "Okay, I'll give you a credit line of $5 million for you to start your business, and then to pay him back within 5 years."
Okay. With that said, walk us through the entire project of you're planning it out, how each floor will be planned out, how many employees that you're going to have, and the facilities that you're putting, all the electric, the water, the time for growth, and how much you'll be producing and selling in a normal month the plants mature.
All right, so
And also, if it's just flour, or if it's also going to be gummies, edibles, and vapes, oil.
all right, so on the first floor is, we have our locker rooms, security, We also have a manufacturing facility that we're applying for, part of the license. It's a room just to make pre-rolls and solventless rosin, which doesn't require hydrocarbons. So we're not doing anything with CO2, ethanol, propane, because we don't want to blow up.
Exactly.
And then the main floor also is the drying room. There's going to be a mother room that contains a plant for like mothering. Now we go to the second and third floor. That's the vegetative room, and then the flower room on the second and third floor. I've been in contact with Donnelly Engineering, which is Donnelly Energy Group, and our MEP engineers is drawing up all the plans for the state. So odor mitigation, our odor mitigation is we're using carbon scrubber with 3 types of filtration on top of that with HEPA and pre-filters on top with ozone inside the duct, so no odor released to the neighborhood, which is the most important thing. Projection, conservative on the low end, we could see that my friends from Natura out of California, they projected with all the lighting and equipment and dialed in. First year on the low end, we could produce about 4,000 to 4,700 pounds, maybe 6,000 pounds in that ball range. Market pricing. So we don't know how the price is going to go. It could sell for $500 today and $3,000 next week. Who knows? But we put that into the calculation on the low end to the high end of the quality of the cannabis, because I see how the market in Jersey City is. People predominantly THC shop, where they want to, anything over 27%, they probably as premium. Anything under that, they consider not premium, like almost like alcohol.
Dirty is even better.
Well, I understand the alcohol business because we've been doing it for 27 years at the restaurant. Community impact. I've been in contact with Sister Roseanne at Women Rising and Juan Cartagena with what's one?
Her Kumba?
Segunda Quimbamba. Great family friend. With Sister Roseanne, since she has a lot of, she does job placement with Women Rising, and her connection to community of groups are helping people to get jobs. We want to focus all the job creation in Ward F and Jersey City only.
Good.
I don't want to give it out. I live here, born and raised here. PS 17 on Duncan, St. Mary's High School, St. Peter's College. I never left Jersey City. Any
Employees. How many employees do you project once you're up and
employees.
running full
So,
steam?
once up and running or doing construction period?
Or construction period,
It's contractors, right?
Right.
So, we
No.
dealing with either local or whoever's PSCG, TRC certified contractors to get all the rebates from PSCG and the financing from them also.
but when you're actually up and running.
Up and running, first year, we're projecting that since it's going to be a really first year to start the cultivation, about 10 to 15 employees. But once everything is dialed in, we're looking almost maximum. We could max out at 50 employees at that facility. That's including full-time and part-time, and including on-site security, because I've been in contact with a security camera company that I know really well, and it has to be monitored 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it has to be highly secured. And this company is actually really one of the best security companies that produces cameras. Yeah, about 50 employee max once we get everything dialed in. That means part-time, full-time for trimming, harvesting, have to train people to do metric reporting, because on the cultivation level and manufacturing, it's different reporting than a store. Once I move one thing to another room, I have to put it in the system. And once we destroy product, we have to do it in front of a camera and destroy it in front of a camera for the state to know.
Right. If I remember correctly, as soon as you get the plant, it's given a number that travels all the way to the sale.
It seeds the sale. Actually, that same number ends up in the dispensary also.
Right.
I've been reading that 3,000-page metric book.
You better. Are you going, your time frame for growth into drying and into,
So we calculate it as, if we do it correctly, it's going to be 5 cycles. So it's going to be 5 harvests a year.
okay,
So 5 harvests, because once we stagger the room correctly,
Right.
that means we'll be harvesting
Different.
every 2 weeks. For every room. So it's like 2 weeks per room. So they consider it, say, like in cannabis, consultants say that's considered as 5 harvests. Like every room every 2 weeks once they stagger it correctly.
are you strictly going to do flour and then sell it off and having them, other people turn into oils? Or are you going to do the whole process?
So-
Either gummies, oils, and flour?
We did apply. We're applying for manufacturing also.
Right.
So we're going to do solventless oils, which is a process of using ice, freezing the plant and using
Yep.
ice water. No chemicals involved. We're going to build out a kitchen to do the gummies, and then the process of doing manufacturing, so we can make pre rolls also. So we
Okay.
don't have to give it to a manufacturer to do it.
What are the, in terms of trimming as well as in terms of the resin production, do you have any kind of special training programs going on? Or are
So
you going
that
to
one,
get
that one,
experience?
I will have to get my consultant here from California. They run a big 22-acre. They're one of actually the biggest contract growers and producers, and one of the biggest in California. They're one of my good friends, but they have a program, and we have the consultant will come here and train everybody to do that. And then on the build out of the rooms, we doing it as a GMP certified facility. So the materials we're building has to be like GMP USDA certified, because I'm looking at the future with the feds and the
Purity, et
FDA.
cetera, yeah.
I'm assuming that at some point, not right now, but at some point, you're going to also apply for a delivery license?
So technically, we don't have, as according to the state CRC, as a cultivator and a manufacturer, we do our own delivery. And
Okay.
the vehicle that we use for delivery is going to be a van that has a lock cage inside. So I see how Ascend does it. Illicit, my friend Leo from Illicit, they show me how they outfit their delivery vehicle. GPS track. We're gonna use On Fleet as our tracking service for every vehicle, and and plus like my neighbor is Garden Greens, on Newark Avenue, so I see how Derek, one of the managers, when they set delivery person. There's like 6 forms you have to fill out, and they have to count everything, and the delivery person got to stand there the whole time to make sure that the product is correct for metric reasons for the state.
Right, okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yes,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. So this is a new application, and we haven't had new applications in a while.
Correct.
And we've been given sort of a mandate, things that must be covered, that should be put on the record. And you've already addressed some of this, but if you don't mind, I'm going to go through this. The applicant's community impact and outreach plan and community feedback regarding the applicant, whether the applicant's proposed location serves an area in need in the city, the current or proposed hiring practices employed by the applicant or the business owner's connection, which you've already testified to Jersey City and the proposed area of the city the facility does or will serve, the applicant's commitment to diversity and inclusion, best practices, the applicant's, and you've testified to this, the applicant's safety and security plans. Here's one I don't think we have heard, but I'm sure everybody, just by looking at the location, the distance between the main entry door of the proposed location and any public or non-public elementary or secondary school building and or parcel which shall be no less than 200 feet. You're not close to any of these.
None. So the closest daycare is on Summit Ave, and outdoor is on like pretty much in the back of State Street. And we did a survey, we did the measurement, and when I got the 200 feet master list from assessors, they're not on there. And I did send everybody a certified mail. Even the city of Jersey City, which owns like 7 properties in that area, you know, they got it at City Hall on Grove Street.
And the last thing I want to make sure that you are aware of, Steve, is that because presumably you will indeed be successful with the Class 1 and the Class 2, when you take the raw flower from the Class 1 and bring it downstairs or next door to the Class 2, you owe the city what's known as a user tax.
It's correct. It's the excise tax. It's the 2% excise tax.
Different than an excise tax. It's a bit ambiguous, the terms that they use. Some people call it a transfer, but it's a user tax.
Yes.
And then when you transfer or sell from the Class 2 to presumably a dispensary or whatever, that's another 2%. You understand?
Yes, yes. You understand it correctly. We did that in calculations, part of our business plan, plus the C fee for the state and everything on top of that.
And it is calculated based on the value of the product.
Yes.
In most cases, the market value.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I have, not here, but I have seen some cannabis businesses tell me, well, the value is 0 internally. Our intra-transfer is a value of 0. That's nonsense. If it was 0, give it to me.
Yeah. No, we understand that. Once we transfer, it goes through metric system. I think
metrics won't put a value.
Yeah, it
on
won't put it, but I think the city see the transfer once it moves, right? If they do the
So you're going to tell us, and in fact,
just like a sales tax, how we do our sales
I've
taxes.
seen some municipalities request the metrics report so we could see your manifest and then look at what the market value of that transfer is, and that's the 2%.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And one more thing I would like to quote on metric, you do have to put the pricing of the product in metric once it's moved.
Not intra, not from your, you put the plant numbers, but
Yeah.
when you transfer from Class 1 to Class 2, there's no dollar amounts there. When you sell it to the dispensary, there is.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
They would do
Yeah,
it
so
all the
like
way
whatever
through.
we do,
It's
yeah.
our company, so we're not gonna, the value is 0 to us. It's our company.
That makes sense, yeah.
Any other questions, Commissioner, Council, Vice Chairman, Chairman?
How long will it take you from the moment when you get all your approvals to start planning?
God willing, if I get CCB approval and I get onto the city council agenda and I get municipal part, I can move forward with state. So I'm attacking this as a different way with state because at state I did originally had a wholesale license, which we let lapse because we couldn't use it at all. It was just a weird business model that it's not worth investing in. And I talked to the state CRC. If I get municipal approval in Jersey City, state will move forward for the annual license. But once I get municipal approval, then I could start doing build out and applying for permits and get PSC&G involved to give us more power.
So you're probably talking about, before you actually start planting,
Knock on wood.
year and a half?
No, knock on wood, 6 months. State is pretty fast once you've been approved for state previously.
Yeah, but the construction aspect's gotta be a year.
Construction aspect, because we're not demo, we're building a room inside a room.
Okay, oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So it's a cigar factory originally, Perotti cigars. They only made it for European market. I researched it.
I think the building's from 1912, right?
Yeah. So we're just building a room inside a room. So it's going to be like rooms. So all the flower rooms are inside with all the mechanical, like the air handlers on the inside, outside. So all the rooms are sealed rooms and then exhausting out to the roof, all the ductings in the roof. So it's not, there's no demo work. We're not demolishing anything in the building. We're just adding into the building.
Your growing area, is it gonna be one tier or a double tier?
No, it's only one tier because we're limited by height.
Yeah, it's a small height.
It's
about 10, 12 feet.
it's this maximum to the beam is 10 foot, but to the ceiling is 12. So we're going by 10 foot to the beam of
Okay.
the room. And the reason why we don't do double tier, because that's a little bit too much work too. Like try climbing up ladders and trimming plants.
Right.
Not to mention you don't know what the cost.
Any other questions? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak or have questions? Seeing none, I'll open it up to the board for any comments and, a motion.
And it would be either a motion to approve or deny a Class 1 and a Class 2.
Is that 2 votes or just 1?
One would work.
Okay. Any comments? If there's no comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve both.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please call the vote.
Chairperson Kaplowitz,
I wish you all the success.
Thank you.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Naparowski,
Vote aye as well.
Commissioner Stovall,
Aye.
Commissioner Pepe.
Aye.
Thank you.
You saved money on a lawyer.
Congratulations.
Actually, I still owe her money. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Where's the restaurant? Where, downtown or up here?
What kind of food?
Yeah.
Fusion? Right on Newark? Okay. Oh, I'll have to stop in. Right. Okay. Okay, so the next thing, okay, so we got that done. Zena's been postponed, right? Oh, no, we're gonna have that now. Zena? Okay, so the next one, we're gonna hear New Jersey LLC, and we're gonna hear both of them at the same time and have separate votes. CCB 2205 at 759A Bergen Avenue, Jersey City. That's the renewal of the actual dispensary. And then Xena, New Jersey LLC, CCB 22-05, 759A Bergen Avenue, Jersey City, and that is a consumption lounge.
Welcome, Rose. Please enter your appearance into the record.
Rosemarie Moyano-Montos on behalf of Xena, New Jersey, LLC.
And who's going to be testifying? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Absolutely. Please.
I'll put it on.
There you go.
Absolutely, sir. My name is Haytham El Gowley.
All right.
That's it.
You want to spell your
Address.
last name and just put your address on the record?
Yes, ELGAWLY 759A Bergen Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey 07306.
Thank you. Your witness, counselor.
Mr. Algali, can you please walk through the board through your request for renewal?
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, good evening, board. Long time no see. Some of you, first time seeing you. Hello. My name is Haytham El Gowley, a lifelong resident here in Jersey City, still born and raised, still here. Serial entrepreneur. Been owning businesses here since I was like 22, long time. Obviously, you can see the gray hairs. So still here, huge community advocate, been doing more for the community since I can remember, just because this is home. So I think we deserve to give back, obviously. And yeah, I'm here in front of you guys for our annual renewal. We're about to hit we actually hit a year already opening, and my grand opening was April 4th. So that's going to be our 1 year anniversary with our strong opening, yeah.
And can you respond to the request that the board made previously of other applicants with respect to where you stand on taxes and?
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I'm paid up on all the taxes I actually pay before I'm due, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we're up to speed. We're here. We've been open a year. It's been it was rough during the beginning, but I'm in a great spot where again I'm well known here in this city, and we get a lot of love for the love that we give back, and business is doing well. We're on a trajectory. We're on an upward trajectory every single month. I know everybody has problems, but listen, I've been selling weed before it went legal, and everybody else was selling weed next to me. I just sold more weed. You know what I'm saying? So yes, there's problems, but there's beauty in it all. We're here. We're helping the community, and we have this platform that's helping us kind of like elevate this whole community.
And where do you stand with your community partnerships?
So one thing about community partnerships about me is I think I'm like one of the stronger applicants that's super tied up into the city, meaning I host a lot of my own events in-house. So any given time you can call cultural affairs and I'm asking for permits, trying to block off the street. So it just a rundown. Last year, having this dispensary, once we opened up in March, we did a soft opening, opened up from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. just to see how everything went. And then we were able to extend those hours after conversation with our neighbors, and seeing that we are not doing anything wrong and no complaints. Last time I was in front of the board, obviously, there was complaints by certain people in our neighborhood, and I'm happy to say that we've proven everybody wrong, and everybody this is not what they thought it was, and it's actually a beautiful space. You know, we created a beautiful space. Xena comes from the term xenia, which means hospitality, and that's exactly what we kind of give. 5-star reviews, over 400 5-star reviews on our Google reviews. You guys could look at it. It's a beautiful place aesthetically. All my employees are beautiful people. I mean, they just radiate love, you know, and to the neighborhood, and neighbors see it. And there we are. But I began back to the events. We've thrown stuff like a rock, paper, scissors tournament in our dispensary in the lounge area without consumption, just using as an event space, where 180 people came out, played rock, paper, scissors for prizes, ranging from 21 years old to a 64-year-old guy who won second place, which is incredible. We did a pumpkin carving contest, over 150 submissions. I've done a block party called Xenium, which means a gift to strangers, which we blocked off the entire Montgomery Street between Bergen Avenue and Kennedy. And ever since I was a younger kid, nobody has ever done that, besides the circus that went into the Armory one time. But we blocked off that, and we did a carnival for the kids. It wasn't anything cannabis related. It was just a fun, family friendly, and people came up to us and were like, I love how you guys are breaking this stigma. You guys, people thought you guys were this, and now you're portraying it as this. And that's exactly what's the beauty is it. And I'm thankful to have that platform to do such things. And we have a bunch of other stuff coming up, stuff for World Cup. I have my 1-year anniversary. We park free ice cream trucks outside. We're right next door to the college. So we do a lot of, one of the college students was on #1 on Sports Center. And we kind of like, you know, he knew that's where he was going to get the love. So it's kind of incredible to kind of have that hub in the community.
Does the board have any questions?
I do remember the initial approval process.
Yes.
And
I mean, battle.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that none of the students wound up addicted and in the streets.
Listen, I'm complete opposite, actually. I think that they're all coming for recovery sticks after their ball games, and we're like healing them. So it's awesome. So yeah, it's
I remember. Talk about and I know you're doing a lot of events. Did you keep up with the charitable organization?
Absolutely. So I like to team up with them. So instead of like giving donations, I kind of teamed up with all of them and say, hey, why don't you be a part of this event in whatever way? And even like with McGinley Square Partnership, Ashley was there, and now it's Chris, and we're kind of dealing with everybody in that neighborhood where it's like, how do we partner up? Like, if you guys have the CDS and the cleanup service, let me put up the money, the 20, 30,000. Let me throw this big party for this community, and you guys handle that side. So that's the way we're kind of handling the partnerships, which is phenomenal, because I have the resources to kind of bring people into McGinley Square. Downtown's already made, the Heights is already established. McGinley Square is still raw, man, and you're seeing all these new people move into our neighborhood before they get pushed over to Greenville. So I'm taking that opportunity to kind of show them what Jersey City is all about, and kind of partner with Rising Tide and partner up with MSID, and kind of like, this is my superpower, and this is kind of what we need. Let's put it that way, instead of me giving you $5,000, $10,000 check, and God knows where it goes, you know?
So I'm going to ask you the same question, and I can see that you're in a different position than some of the previous owners.
Yeah.
So tell me, again, you know, the process you went through, the expectations, and how they are today as far as profitability.
Yeah, I think the process just to get here was really grueling. We didn't know what to expect. It was kind of like blind leading the blind, right? It was such a new industry, so I understood it. And not having a cap really does hurt a lot of people, right? With some of these dispensaries are right across from a street or so that we're seeing 4 or 5 of them close already within a year. So, and some of these are my friends, and I know they put their livelihoods and they take investments and sign deals that just to get open, trying to rush open. I was in a position where I've had that store for 10 years. I had a clothing store there prior. I ran it for 10 years, so I had the lease. It was in McGinley Square, so it wasn't as high as anywhere else. And I kind of got the opportunity to transition into this. You know, I had the same location, and now, because I'm in this position, I just rented out the space across the street and I opened up something called the Chop Shop. It used to be a pizzeria, 99 cents. So it's called the Chop Shop. So I do chopped cheese, smash burgers, chicken tenders. College kids are growing crazy for that. And now I also have the store next door where I'm gonna do a juice bar, coffee shop. So that's like, I call it the Bermuda Triangle. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you come in here, that's it. You're stuck. You're stuck for a good time. So again, that's what I'm trying to do, is create that community. But yeah, I see the position a lot of these people are in. And I was just telling Rose recently, I think what's missing is there's a disconnect between the operators and you guys. Like, you guys aren't talking to us on what we really need. Like, we see you guys once there's a renewal, and then we see you guys when maybe there's a violation, and that's it. But there's no communication. We're like, now that we're operating, now that we're running, we know what we want. Last time we spoke, I didn't even know like how the store was gonna look. I didn't know how it was gonna operate. I didn't know how the employees, what's gonna cost. Now that I'm here, I'm like, dude, I know all this. And I'm like, why aren't you guys talking to us? And like,
That's why I'm asking these questions.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's beautiful. So yeah, so I do see licensing fees are a lot. So it seems like every time we're making a little money, we get slapped with another fee. Whether it's the licensing fee, whether it's taxes, whether it's something overwhelming, right? Right now I have over 12 employees going on to 15 employees. I launched delivery, and hopefully when the consumption lounge opens up, that'll be a whole nother avenue of employees and revenue stream. But what I'm seeing is just that disconnect. Like, if there's something wrong here, I can't, like, you know, I'll email Markia, like, hey, what's the right way to do this or that? And she's great with answering our questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the only complaint that I have. It's just like there's a disconnect.
So one of the previous operators, we talked about that. Would you agree a progressive staging of fees depending on?
Personally, no, just for the simple fact because I know like I'm making a little bit more than the others. So I look. So that's just realistically. Look, I'm just being realistically,
that's
right?
That's a good thing for you.
Yes. So realistically, so I'm just saying that. Yeah, 100%. But I get that's definitely gonna save them, dude. That's 100% gonna save them. So I would agree that makes complete sense onto smaller
what
operators.
Suggestions would you make?
There's a bunch. So
While you're thinking,
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the ordinance prevents the commissioners from speaking to applicants.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well.
That's a stupid.
It was sort of like, land use boards. I mean, the members shouldn't go have coffee with the applicant and
Oh,
talk
no,
to them
but-
about the application. But who knows? Maybe that could be modified. If you've already gotten a license, then perhaps there's no problem with speaking to some of the commissioners.
Well, again, in a public meeting such as this.
I think he means a lot more than a public meeting.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think that what you want to do
I
is talk to the staff, but if you want
Yeah.
to come to us, I think that this board, which in the past never did, was interact with the applicants and getting feedback to make everybody's life better in the city, to make this very successful. And taking suggestions that we can incorporate into any part of the ordinance is an objective that I'd like to do.
100%. Just like, look, before.
I would not meet with you personally unless
No,
I'm
no,
walking
no.
in and buying something. And then that's it.
Before it was like we were asking for permission to do business, and now I feel like I'm paying my dues. Now we're partners. Like, we're partners, right? And we just want the success of this industry and success of everybody's business, because that's the way we win. The industry does well, we make more money, the city makes more money, schools make more money, everybody's happy, right? So that's the way I'm saying it.
And again, it's a new era.
Yeah.
It's a new board, very committed commissioners, and we want to interact to get information of how to make it better.
Yeah. For one instance, I know micro licenses. I would love to be I would love to train. I have an annual license now, so I pay $15,000 fees, and then for the consumption lounge is going to be another $25,000. So I'm going to be paying $55,000 in fees with Jersey City and the state license. $55,000, you know. And then my store is under 2,500 square feet, so I can be a micro license, but I can't because micro licenses you're only allowed to have 10 employees. It's a catch-22. Now, if I open up the lounge and I want to throw a DJ in there, say some sports say, right? I can't do that because I need an entertainment license. But I can't get an entertainment license unless I sell food. But I can't sell food if I have a dispensary because there's no food or beverages.
Yeah.
So we're like hitting walls in every single way because you're not having these conversations, you know? So stuff like that is just.
But everything moves forward.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
You take a look at microbreweries. They were never allowed to have food on site, and that's now changing.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, we're the pioneers.
Yeah, I have faith in it
know?
100%. I'm thankful. Like, trust me, pioneers aren't always celebrated, not at first, you know. And I know I took the hits, I took the shots, just saying, hey, I want this, and I understand that. And we're taking the time, even for the fees. That's why I'm not even arguing with the fees. I'm like, we'll pay it first, and then going forward, if we change it, if it makes sense, then it makes sense. But I think we all have to pay our dues, you know. So 100%.
Right.
Might I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I represent boards as well, and I know you guys work very hard. But maybe perhaps the thing to consider is one-on-one request for hardship, you know, and perhaps on an individual applicant basis, determining if there is an existing hardship, and then maybe waiving the fee in that particular instance.
Would
Just
you do
something.
that with other boards? Have they made the suggestion?
We don't
just-
have the authority to do
No, I understand that, but with that said, did other boards just do it for an initial application or a renewal?
I mean, I think in this case, the complaint is right that they can't meet the renewal fees because of the hardships they've had opening. And so maybe the thing to do is consider on a applicant basis whether or not they meet a certain threshold for a hardship, and then it could possibly wait. Just a thought.
For reference, we heard from another applicant. For reference to your point, how long did it take you from the time getting approval to actually opening up and the cost of getting to opening up?
Wow. My project was a little different, obviously, because we had a lawsuit with the school next door.
Right.
So
Excluding that.
Yeah,
That was-
excluding that.
right.
So we established the project in September of 2021, and I opened up in March of 2025.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
If I remember correctly, you came in 22 or 23?
Correct, 22. Yep.
Yeah.
In front of you to 22. I was one of the first 12. That was the special meeting we went to for the planning board, and then we came over here.
Right.
Correct. But you know, permitting, just even getting my construction permits took me 8 months, 6 weeks just for the sign permit from zoning. So that alone, we were paying rent alone for that time period. It was just it was empty. I couldn't even put a hammer in the wall or nails in the wall. So we're just sitting there until I got the yellow paper, put that yellow paper on the wall, and we celebrated that. And then from there, construction alone took 6 months. And then, because I read the whole story, yeah.
If you feel uncomfortable, I
No, hell
respect
no.
that, but roughly, what did you spend over that period of time before opening up?
Oh, Jeff, hurts. It hurts. Spent, so far I'm in like maybe 1.2. 1.2, I put 750 of my own. Yeah, man. Straight up. And it's just like nobody wanted to invest in my project because of the lawsuits and the notoriety it was getting with that. They were like, we're not touching this with a 10-foot pole. And
I remember those arguments.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had arguments with
I
Gene.
ended up, me and Rose was like, listen, do you sure you? I'm like, this is my home. I'm from here. I went to PS 11, 4 blocks away. I'm like, this is where I'm at. Nobody's pushing us away. And I put my own money up and I risked it all. And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember very well. If you remember, Gene Polino and I went at each other.
100%. Yep.
One of the things that the board could do when we decide to take a look at the ordinance and propose some changes, as Rose suggested, we may be able to propose that the ordinance gets changed in such a way to give the board authority to have a hardship hearing and then recommend certain things. Of course, the governing body would have to agree to those certain things, like a reduction in the annual fee and whatever, as Arnold suggested, credit for, not being open for 4 years, so something to throw against the wall, it may never stick.
Yeah, you could even do once a year, twice a year, a little meeting like this. You bring all the owners in and be like, this is what it's it, guys. Like, what do you have? Tell us what it is on record. What's the problems? You discuss it and then make a decision that way. But we just feel unheard. That's 100%. That's all.
With that said, the previous administration basically just said to everybody, we're not doing a board. I was up for renewal and I didn't get renewed, and the rest of the board quit.
Yeah.
And I didn't get another telephone call until, November or December?
Yep. No, understood.
So it's a new day.
Yeah, and I'm appreciative of it. Absolutely. Even with St. Peter's, back to that. Like I've met with all my neighbors. I've met even with St. Peter's, who had a problem with us. It's a new administration. That's what they told me. They're not thinking the same way that old administration thought. We're thinking differently. Then they told me, hey, we're actually we're actually customers of yours. Awesome. We love this place. They raved about it. They said they started asking questions about the lounge. So it was huge different shift than before. So I was like, wow, incredible.
Is there any other questions regarding the renewal? I know we've taken up a lot of time, but it's very, very informative.
Thank you.
I have one question. In terms of your training for people, how do you work that out in terms of your training for the locals?
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So training, I'm really good at that. I'm really good at being knowledgeable and just like getting the right material to pass on forward. So a lot of when I first started, my first employees were personal friends, because I was like, listen, I don't know I'm starting this store with like $3 in my pocket, bro, where people are giving me net 30, but I know it's really gonna be net 90 with confidence. You know what I mean? So that's the way I approached it. I hired all my friends first. So I knew they were gonna care about the project the right way. And I trained them the right way, and I trained them, and we went through our trials and tribulations. We made our mistakes, learned what we needed to train the right way, and then going forward now, whenever I get a new employee, I spend the first week with them, and then it goes up to one of the shift leads that trains them from there on. But we have a curriculum that we have, and we just go through that curriculum and the SOPs and just kind of walk them through the day-to-day, so nobody makes mistakes. Yeah.
Cool.
So Hatham, not a material question, but why the change from Medusa to Xena?
Okay, back at it. Good question. So when that lawsuit happened between this and this establishment, the project gained a lot of notoriety. So it went on a lot of newspapers, a lot of blogs. It hit a lot of snags. And then Rose and I received a cease and desist letter for someone who owned the name Medusa Distribution. Now, cannabis is a federally illegal substance, so you can't trademark Medusa as cannabis. You have to trademark ashtrays, lighters, XYZ. So somebody had the Medusa name for all this, maybe like a cigar company or something like that. So Rose was like, listen, man, you should pick your battles. Do you want to fight both these lawsuits, or you should just change your name? I was like, you know what? Forget that name. I can name this store. Yeah. I can name this store whatever, and some people will come as long as I have good weed. And then, that's where we're at. So we changed it to Xena, which means which comes from the term xenia, which means hospitality. So our core values are the experience we set, the customer service we set, the xenia, which is the hospitality, and the exceptional quality products. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Any other questions? Is there any members of the public who would like to speak on this renewal? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the vote.
Chairperson Kaplowitz.
Thank you for all your information. I will suggest to you maybe talk to all the different cannabis people and formulate an alliance, a lobbying group. I vote yes.
Commissioner Naprioski.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Stovall.
Vote yes.
Commissioner Pepe.
Vote yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Renewal.
Don't move.
Double duty.
We're not going anywhere.
Okay, so now we're going to hear Xena CCB 22-05 Consumption Lounge at 759A Bergen Avenue.
Great. So Haytham's already touched upon some of the things that I was going to say. So rather than repeat ourselves, I'm just going to highlight what we're here for, and then Haytham will speak to the application itself. So we're seeking a consumption area endorsement. It would be an accessory use to the existing Class 5 retail establishment located at 759A Bergen Avenue. As Haytham has already testified, he's been open, he did a soft opening on March 1st, so he's already been operating for just over a year. In that year period, he's had no incidents, no enforcement issues, and he's been in full compliance with applicable regulations. He's now also demonstrated that he's operating responsibly within the community. And more importantly, during this time, he's proven to be a good neighbor within the McGinley Square area. There have been no complaints related to his operations, no issues with crowd control or public safety, and no concerns related to odor, noise, or nuisance conditions. With respect to the facility, what he is proposing to do is operate a fully enclosed indoor space in the basement level of his premises. Its access is controlled through a vestibule system, which acts as both a noise and odor barrier. The ventilation system meets and exceeds cigar lounge standards, which prevents smoke migration to the non-consumption areas. Zena has implemented a comprehensive SOP structure governing all aspects of consumption, which my client will elaborate on further during his testimony. With respect to community impact, Zena's operational model is grounded in responsible community integration. He has had local hiring with Jersey City and Hudson County workforce, diverse staffing that is reflective of the community, and a clear code of conduct governing guest behavior and safety. At this time, I'm going to call Haytham. He's already been sworn in, but he's going to talk about facility design and operation, security and compliance implementation, odor and ventilation controls, workforce development and training, and community impact and day-to-day management.
Awesome.
Haytham, I'm
yes.
sorry. Can you please begin by walking, very quickly, because you did some of this, walk the board through your existing operations and how the consumption model fits into that?
All right, so board, I've been open for a year so far, operating over 15 employees. I have the retail store. The retail store is a little over 600, 700 square feet on the first ground floor. It's located on Montgomery Street, but I have a Bergen Avenue address. It's right next to the Metro PCS. You enter you go up to a vestibule. There's two doors. One door that leads into the retail side, and then one door that leads downstairs that's not being used right now. We only use it for like deliveries and stuff like that, so that way it doesn't interfere with the customers. Once you walk into my retail store, you're greeted by a bud bar, a live bud bar that we got permitted by from the CRC, where you can look at flower, you could smell flower. I also have displays on your left with dummy packaging of pre-rolls, edibles, flower, vapes, concentrates, mixtures, tinctures, lotions, all that stuff. On your right-hand side, I have bongs, glasswares, things of that nature. And then I have papers and merch like Zena logo merch behind the register, 3 POS stations, and I have 4 kiosks right on the door. So it's a nice small store, but it feels comfortable, okay? And then there's a doorway that leads directly downstairs. You go downstairs, my staircases light up as you walk down. There's cool Greek pictures. Also, the store is Greek themed. That's why it's called Zena. So there's like pillars, there's grass wreaths, there's Greek busts everywhere. And it looks really magnificent. Like you've transported from the hood in McGinley Square into Greece, really, right? We have a joke in the store, like, let me take you to Greece real quick. We go right downstairs. And then you're greeted by lounge style seating. So I have banquet style seating that's already installed now, and round tables. Now, obviously you guys are aware that this was been my dream since the beginning. I've been wanting the consumption lounge before. I don't think anybody else wanted a consumption lounge in New Jersey. The reason for that is because my background comes from community advocacy and throwing events. I've thrown events since I was 16 years old. I was to throw house parties to pay for rent when I lived on McAdoo. So I threw big festivals with cultural fair, Halloween events, Liberty Science Center after dark events. So my expertise is in gathering, again, large quantities of people, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, with no problems, no incidences, no fights, knock on wood, thank God, for almost 20 years. And they've been very lucrative, and they've been very great, obviously establishing this culture into the neighborhood and in the city. So that's the reason I kind of wanted to go into from the black market into the legal market, was because Jersey City, my home, was one of 11 cities, one of 12 states. New Jersey is one of 12 states in the entire country that's allowing consumption lounges, a place where people can gather, right? Where we can create experiences, because that's where retail is going. It's not anymore the hello, hey, why are you here? I think I'm doing very well compared to every other stores, because that's one of my core values. It's that set the experience. We have a bar that we set that's very high, and we touch it every single time. It's that you have to leave our store with me knowing your name, with us being friends, with a handshake, and next time you're always going to come back. That's one thing my team is really good at, is bringing customers in and making them repeat customers. So with the lounge, that's exactly what that's going to create, a space to gather that community. Especially being in McGinley Square now, what we're seeing is a lot of new people are moving into the area, because once you move into the area, you look for your local pizza shop, the laundromat, and your local weed spot. And they come to us, they show us their ID, their out-of-state ID. When did you move in here? 2 weeks ago. Oh, we're going to have oh my God. This is your space to meet people, like-minded people, and that's really why the reason we want to do this. So you walk down, I have my CO currently. It's fits about 72 people, 75 people for the entire building. I have 2 large ADA bathrooms as well downstairs, and I have TVs set up. So basically what I would love to do is invite people over. Once they purchase the product from the retail side, they would go into the lounge and then consume their product, whether they're going to eat it, smoke it, etc. And then we would throw different events, maybe a puff and paint event, cushion karaoke, comedy shows, things of that nature, where we can regulate who's there, see, and kind of set that experience. So that's the and then I also have now, when I also told you that vestibule, there's 2 doors in front, 1 door that goes downstairs, and I have a secondary door that goes directly into the lounge, just like an exit door. So if you're downstairs and you don't want to go back into the retail, you could just exit directly into the street level right outside. And those 2 doors are RFID secured too, so you can't get in without an RFID card or unless we unlock it.
So 72 people in both the store and downstairs?
That's correct.
How many are allowed downstairs?
I could probably fit like 40 or 50. Yeah.
Okay. And you have 2 forms of egress?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, correct. And then also the way product moves from my store, which is very unique, and you guys would love this, the most secure way ever, I installed 2 pneumatic tube systems that go from my inventory room all the way up to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the cool spot, you know? So
old school.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody goes crazy. I call it the Terp Traveler, all right? So, so people come in, they would place their order on the kiosk or on the phone, and then the inventory room, which is, it has steel mesh all around it, locked at all times. Inventory person sits on there with the staring at a camera at all times. They would fulfill the order, fulfill the order, put it in a capsule, send it up in a pneumatic tube system. The bud tenders then receive it, open up the capsule, take it out, and then give it to the customer. And that's the experience that we said, that wow factor, you know, yeah. Yeah. So it's really cool. That's what I'm saying. I just can't wait. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. When this lounge opens up, I could only, I'm doing rock, paper, scissor competitions for an ounce of weed. And I can only imagine where our mind's going to go, just creating that culture. And that's what this needs. This can't feel so transactional. For it to live, it has to feel like a culture. And people like me, we're the people, they're tastemakers. We're the culture creators, you know? So we'll create this hub like, yes, I want to be a part of this. And that's how we're going to transition people from shopping from smoke shops into dispensaries, guys. It's like, because this is why, you know?
Is there a time limit that you can spend downstairs?
Yes. So I'm going to do 60 minutes. And then if you're a member, we'll have a membership. It'll be 90 minutes. But if it's slow, we're not going to bother you. But I'm also going to train my bud tenders and my staff to look for overconsumption. You know, we can't let anybody in that's inebriated because there's a bar across the street. I'm very well aware of that. Okay. So I want to address that. And right now we're constantly like, you know, we don't see anybody. They already know our rules. We check IDs every time somebody comes in. and nobody that seems inebriated ever comes in. You know, it never bothers us or anything like that. So it's been great.
What's the square footage downstairs?
Downstairs, it's if I'm not mistaken, it's 1,200 square feet. Yeah, it's pretty big. So I have my space is the basement is my space, and then the basement for Metro PCS. That's why it's so big. And then I have mine because back in the 80s, it used to be one store, and then it got split in half. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Can you go over odor mitigation controls?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a $250,000 HVAC system that I placed in there, and that's kind of why the costs were so high. I redid that whole space. I redid everything from the stairways to the bathrooms to the retail floor and even my consumption lounge. So I have, for odor mitigation, I have things like, you know, it has the constant fresh airflow. So that way it constantly brings fresh air from the outside continuously. It pushes old air back. The entire space, it like replaced about every 6 minutes. So new fresh air every 6 minutes. It has a dedicated exhaust system, so it has blowers that blow directly out and then also bring fresh air in. It has an ERV system, which is like a balanced air exchange. So it uses like an energy recovery ventilator, ERV. It just keeps it balanced, no odor leaks into other spaces, no pressure buildup, things of that nature. It has a multi-lever filtration, so I could change the temperature in my retail floor and in my consumption lounge at any moment, just in case it'll get smoky or anything like that. And then it has, those are the zone systems. And then, yeah, that's basically it. So, I mean, we turn this ventilation on, it gets super cold inside. Sometimes it gets super hot. So it's like, I know it works. It's phenomenal, but we haven't tried it obviously for the consumption just yet. But yeah, that was one of the first things I installed because obviously this is where I knew where I was heading for this. Yeah.
So we talked about before how you had issues, right, originally with St. Peter's. What steps have you taken this time around to ensure that there's no issues with your neighbors?
So I've set meetings with all my neighbors, and I kind of I showed them the plans. Listen, I have this meeting coming up. Do you guys have any objections? And they said the same thing. We're actually customers of yours and we love what you're doing. We have no objections. This was an old school mentality. This is the new administration doesn't have a problem with what's going on. People like McGinley Square Pub, Angelo loves our business. We bring the right crowd around, you know, and of course, directly next door to me, I have that space where I'm going to do a coffee shop and a juice bar, and I have the store across the street. So I am my neighbors too. So it's phenomenal. The Chinese store loves it, and then hopefully Metro PCS, once they're gone, I could take that on too, and then it'll be Ginley Square. That's it, you know? Yeah.
Your other neighbor is Hudson Community Enterprise.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Hudson County. Oh, so they're phenomenal. So we actually use them for shredding. Yeah. So every month we use them for shredding, and they come to us, and they're phenomenal. Yeah, they're great neighbors. Yeah, we're like they love us. They actually helped us out when that snowstorm. They helped us out so much. Yeah, so they're phenomenal.
Does the board have any other questions?
So this is probably more of a comment. I certainly appreciate you mentioning that legally obtained medical cannabis can be brought into your facility. The reason behind the state did that, because some folks who live in housing that is subsidized by the feds, you can't smoke marijuana, as they would call it, the feds, in that particular, so they can bring their medical marijuana to Hatham's place and smoke it.
Yeah, correct. Because so they can lose their Section 8, or they can lose whatever. And that's another thing that we're seeing here. Like when people come in, we're always asking like, where are you going to go smoke that? You know, because I'm interested to see if there's a need for this consumption lounge before I pay $35,000 a year for it, correct? Because we can't make money from the lounge because it's only retail. So this is just an accessory. Like I'm paying $35,000 just for people to come in and smoke. That's $3,500 a month. That's crazy. Where I can be giving that that's coming out of my pocket, right? That's the profit that I'm fighting for here. But I see it as bigger. Like I see it as an anchor where we can host these different events, educate these customers, right? Change the stigma really. And that's really it. Like a lot of people don't even know how to roll. Like I want to host rolling classes. Like we can't open jars, like stuff like that, just little stuff like that. How do you clean your bong? Like just little educational purposes. And yeah, opening it. And then what we're seeing here, and especially in McGinley Square, a lot of these condo buildings are coming up, and these people can't smoke. So whenever we're asking them, where are you smoking? They're like, we're going to walk around the block. And there's colleges and there's a school, and that's the problem we didn't want. And that's where people will start looking at us wrong, like, well, they're smoking because, no, they're smoking because they don't have a place to smoke. It's not because we're selling it. But if we had a place, that could mitigate all of that, and I think it'll help out both the medical patients and the recreational consumers.
Well, I'm old school, and I still remember the days when we used to, purchase it and use album covers to get rid of the seeds.
Oh yeah. Who are you telling? Oh man, look, you're talking seeds. That's how it is. Yeah, this is where we're at. That's what I'm saying. Listen, yep. Oh man.
Anything else from the board?
Oh, you said you have 15 employees. How many are from Jersey City?
To be honest, mostly all of them are from Jersey City, but they had to move away because of the cost. So right now, the only people that live in Jersey City, I believe I have like 5 or 6 that are from Jersey City out of the 15. But mostly a majority of them are from here because they're personal friends of mine and we grew up here and all that stuff. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I actually hired a student from St. Peter's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's about to start as my delivery driver. Yeah. It's just so, yes.
I think that's funny.
It's a good work study program.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, is there any members of the public who would like to speak? Please step forward.
Good evening. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Just please state your name, spell your last name, give us your address.
My name is Mary Ann Pham, last name spelled F like Frank, A-M like Mary. My address is 1609 Kennedy Boulevard, Jersey City, New Jersey.
What would you like to tell the board?
So I'm a longtime resident and community servant in Jersey City. Born and raised here as well. Grew up in the Heights and the Greenville sections. Primarily serve in the Journal Square area, so I'm very familiar with where Xena is and that whole neighborhood. I attend church a couple blocks away, and so we kind of grew up we grew up there more than we did where we lived. Do you know what I mean? Because that's where community was. So I myself am a biomedical engineer. I have a background in the biomedical space, and have family members in medicine and such. I myself am not a consumer, but I do have family members and close friends who consume both medicinally and recreationally. So I'm not coming with a lack of knowledge. I'm knowledgeable and not completely ignorant on the product and its pros and cons of cannabis use. So just a couple of statements, and then I have questions of concern. So, right now, as cannabis becomes increasingly commercialized and normalized, there's also a lot more potency in the modern manufacturing of cannabis than it was in prior years. And so everyone metabolizes it differently. You can't control how things are going to impact individuals as users. And so there could be both pros and cons, adverse impacts as well as positive impacts to an individual when they're consuming. And so, different from a dispensary, there's on-site consumption and people who are now metabolizing the substance, leaving the location. And so certain vulnerable populations, such as younger users in their early 20s, which are considered adolescents in the science field. Do you know what I mean? As well as people that might have pre-existing mental health conditions or medical conditions might end up having, different issues with the way that they consume it than others. So, we may say that that's the exception, but if it's an individual's, if it's your kid or if it's my kid or if it's, my parent, that exception doesn't mean much to me. Do you know what I mean? So for me, there's, the owner had stated we're right next to several schools, has attended those schools, several churches, there's several houses of worship, etc. Now, there's no ordinance for houses of worship, but the risk is still the same because you have parents and children that they serve. As a school, to be completely honest with you. So my concern is that people are going to be consuming at the lounge and potentially leaving the lounge either under the influence or with the influence, or could have certain medical issues or episodes, and there's no way for anyone to make sure that they can drive or behave appropriately or correctly. Alcohol is different. Alcohol impairment and alcohol impact has known symptoms. You know what to look for when you're a bartender. You can tell if your customer has had too much to drink. You can cut them off. For law enforcement, there's tests that they run and that they do that could instantly test somebody's blood alcohol level and know if they're under the influence, etc. But my question is, how do we determine if an individual is under the influence of the substance like marijuana, and how does law enforcement then support to keep the community safe after they've consumed in a lounge and are in the neighborhood? That neighborhood has a tremendous number of families that walk around. It's a commuter area. There's bus stops on like 4 corners from there. There's a high school across the street. There's a daycare. There's PS 11, like he said. There's just a lot of foot traffic with families in that neighborhood. And a couple of blocks down, there's kids that still play in the street. It's one of the few neighborhoods in Jersey City that kids still play in the street.
So
we
just I wanted to say, so your concern is the owner or the bud tenders there. How can they determine if someone has hit their limit or exceeded their limit to be safe? Is that your question?
And let me supplement just for a minute.
Yes.
That went off because we typically limit it to 3.
I understand.
I gave you 4.
Planning board
So
too, sorry.
I understand there's
I understand.
one question that the chairman has succinctly put. Now, Rose, you can answer it. You don't have to answer it, but if you're able to respond to this woman, that's your call.
You answer?
All right. I mean, I think
I can follow up if you want. Go ahead.
No, I would just point out that there are mechanisms in place to do that. One of them is employee training to identify impairment. The other thing is there's controls on how much can be purchased there, and there's ways to monitor consumption on site. So, I mean, it would really not be any different than someone who drinks at a bar. I mean, yes, there's other obvious signs of impairment, but it would be the same thing. If no one's monitoring them, no one really knows how much they drank before they walk out, right, into the public. In this case, it's a very controlled atmosphere where everything that's being purchased and consumed is being monitored.
I also want to add that we're not the first consumption lounge in the state, right? There's other consumption lounges that are currently open right now. 2 in Atlantic City, 1 more on the one in Newark, and 2, and so there's a bunch that are open right now, and we haven't come across those problems. Like, nobody over consumes with cannabis. Like, we've been doing this for so long. People, if they overconsume, they're falling asleep, or they're getting really hungry. That's really what's happening. It's not like the bar across the street where they're stumbling out. Like, there's bigger problems that, and this is a stigma that I've been fighting, obviously, for the last 4 years with this project. But that's what I've been seeing. And all of our consumers, if you've ever been into my store, all my customers are not the smoke shop clientele. That's why I don't fight that argument. People are spending, $40, $65 an eighth plus tax here. So these are reasonable, hardworking people. And for me to tell them, hey, if I tell them, hey, okay, you can't smoke here, they're going to smoke outside. And then they're also going to drive. So it's like, I'm just giving them a safe space to kind of consume and to get educated and to help break that stigma and to change and to kind of prevent what she's talking about. That's really what I'm trying to do, is to create a safe space where we can get educated, where some people are used to eating edibles from homemade edibles or on the street. That's what I'm trying, right? So they're eating what they think is 50, 100 milligrams. In a dispensary, when they come in and I teach them, like, all you need is 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. This is the education they need to stop this overconsumption. They come back and they say, wow, I had to eat half of a 5 milligram and I feel this way. And that's where it starts, and that's how it starts. But if we keep pushing it to the side and telling some people they can't do this, you can't do this, I think that we're just going to go down a rabbit hole that we don't need to be in.
So thank you for the question, and thank you for the answer.
Yeah, my concern was just to make sure that it's that the risk to the community who are walking in the area, because it's a lot of walkers, also feel safe. Do you know what I mean? Walking out after consumers have left the lounge, et cetera. That's my main concern.
I just
Thank
have
you.
a question for the owner, just to kind of go off of what she was saying. Are the operating hours for the consumption lounge going to be the same as the retail?
No, I
or
think there's rules in place. I think you guys set the ordinance where the consumption lounge could open up from noon until 11 p.m. It used to be 2 a.m., which would be great, but it's until 11 p.m. So it closes, and the dispensary currently right now is open from 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. for a year, and we have had no problems, no minors coming into the store at all, nobody loitering outside, no long lines, like literally no violations, no complaints, no problems.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or statements that anybody in the audience would like to do? I see someone coming up now.
All right, welcome, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Thank you very much. My full name is Stephen Jesse Pena. My last name is spelled Pena. I am employee number 1 of Zena Dispensary. I also operate as an...
All right.
this one I wasn't going to miss the opportunity.
1 minute instead of 3.
I wasn't going to miss the opportunity to advocate for Zena. I also operate as an entertainer and a freelance MC, master of ceremony, and DJ. I've been making people feel special probably my entire life and creating moments for people. And I say with all due respect and full confidence that, in respect to the mother plant, we don't sell weed. We make people feel seen. We make people feel special. We provide an environment for people to be vulnerable, to learn, to be educated. And we accept all ignorance levels because we know ignorance is not a negative thing. It's just the not knowing. And when they encounter people like us, I think it's an honor and a privilege to be led by somebody like Hatham, who is born and bred in Jersey City. I'm from New Jersey as well, just a little bit more up north in North Bergen, but a lot of my grassroots and learning the things that I learned came when I developed a friendship with Hatham, and the culmination of that allowed us to steer the ship in the right way and to be right here where we are. So I don't think anybody is more deserving of the opportunity to execute this proposal at a high level than this man sitting up here. I know that everybody has questions and concerns, obviously, and inquiries, but and I will also second the motion of like, hey, come to the store, come and talk to us, come get on the ground level with us, because then you'll really see the type of impact. And I'll end it with this. I think we're in a time frame where technology and everything is being created to segregate people and separate people and keep them isolated. And we all know how this life thing works, how it goes forward. It's by people coming together, right? Exchanging resources, partnering, seeing how we can collaborate. And that's how information and education gets passed down. We are afraid of the children. If we are afraid of the children, the one thing that you need to give children, especially these adults who are 21 years of age, right, who are able to come in and shop, is education and information. The more you tell people you can't do something, the more they'll find the way around to do it. So, again, I'm just going to say and end it with, I don't think there's anybody more deserving than Hatham, Zena, and the whole team. We have some of our members here to advocate as well. We fully care about the community and just about people at the end of the day. You know, we have people from a wide range of places that come around, and the first thing, like they said, they come and they look for us. We're on the short list of most important things for people to kind of feel to get acclimated into their community. And McGinley Square is a place that I think is like the gold rush. It's a place that still is raw and has a lot of great energy and a lot of beautiful people moving in from various places. So I just want to say thank you for this time, councilmen and women, all my people here. Hatham, you're amazing. Thank you. Peace and love. We hope to see you guys at the dispensary. Stephen Pena, I'm out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions from the board? Any statements? Other than that, I will entertain a motion. Is there a motion?
Motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please call the vote.
Chairperson Kaplowitz,
You will be a welcome addition to Jersey City, and you've gone through a hard time. I remember all of it, and it's nice to see that you succeeded
Appreciate
and
it.
your quality.
Thank you.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Napiorski.
Same. It seems like you've done a ton of due diligence. It's actually pretty impressive. I was taking notes the entire time, and yeah, your work in the community speaks for itself. And I trust this will be a first-class endeavor. So
Thank you.
I vote aye.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Commissioner Stovall.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Pepe.
I vote yes. Congratulations.
Thank
It
you
sounds
very much.
exciting what you've
Thank
got
you.
going on.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Hell yes.
Okay.
Staying here.
What do we have left?
The other side.
Oh, the other side, okay.
So I'm staying here.
Another consumption,
Yeah. Want to call it?
yeah. I'll wait till these people leave. Unless she's,
She's double duty or
counsel.
oh,
triple duty.
okay, all right. So I'm going to call the next application. That is the Other Side Dispensary, CCB 22-15 at 36 Congress Street, Consumption Lounge.
Let's just put your, on the record again, your representation on the record.
Rosemary Moyano Matos for the Other Side Dispensary.
And let's swear in your client. Nice to see you again.
How you
Raise your
doing,
right
counsel?
hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name is Eliza Brevard Rodriguez. My last name is spelled BREVARD hyphen RODRIGUEZ.
Just to keep the record straight, tell the board when you first came to the board for approval and when you opened up.
I came to the board in June of 2022. We were pushed and seen in July 2022. Am I accurate? And we opened October 2024.
Yeah, you're a witness, counselor.
Thank you. So once again, this is an application seeking approval for a consumption area to operate as an accessory use to the Class 5 retail establishment at 36 Congress Street. By way of background, the Other Side is an existing state licensed cannabis retailer that has already undergone full municipal and state vetting. The Other Side opened its doors October 3rd, 2024, and has been operating pursuant to New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission license. Since commencing operations, the Other Side has operated in compliance with the CRC regulations without any enforcement issues and without complaints impacting public safety or neighborhood quality of life. Equally important, the business has demonstrated a strong community-oriented model, grounded in education, workforce development, and local engagement. As I've already indicated, this is for cannabis consumption, but this is a controlled extension of an already existing regulated and compliant business model, which is designed to move cannabis consumption into a supervised and structured environment. The proposed consumption lounge has been intentionally designed to meet regulatory requirements and community compatibility standards. As reflected in the submitted plans and renderings, the consumption area is to be located on the second floor in a separate level from the retail operations. It includes a designated seating area, controlled access points, and clearly defined circulation paths. The space incorporates modular seating, controlled entry, and monitored use areas. They're also known as TOST, has implemented a comprehensive operational plan governing all aspects of consumption as outlined in the SOPs in the security plan that has already been submitted and which my client will testify to during her testimony. And lastly, with respect to community impact, TOST has an operational model which is rooted in community integration and reinvestment. As outlined in its application, the business prioritizes Jersey City and Hudson County hiring. A majority of its employees are local residents. Workforce composition reflects diversity, inclusion, and equity goals And further, the business engages in educational programming and workforce development. It supports local initiatives and community partnerships, and it actively contributes to broader discussions on equity and small business participation. This is a mission-driven operator, not just a commercial enterprise. At this time, I'm going to introduce Eliza Brevard Rodriguez, who is the majority owner and operator of The Other Side. And Ms. Brevard Rodriguez is going to testify with respect to the facility design and the operational structure, security and compliance implementation, odor mitigation and ventilation systems, workforce development and community engagement, as well as day-to-day management. Hi, Eliza.
Hi.
Eliza, I'm
Yes.
sorry I need to play Ebenezer Scrooge, but it appears that at least 2 quarters. Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Are we referring to the taxes?
Yes.
Okay. Would
Yeah.
you like me to respond?
Yes, yeah.
Please.
Absolutely.
And I'm not suggesting that the board can't approve it contingent upon those being paid.
Payment, right.
That's my opinion. I may get knocked down for that by a higher authority, yeah. But go ahead, yeah.
Absolutely. So we came into operation after 30 months of holding. That was approximately $211,000 in holding fees. I am the only applicant or the first applicant in the state that has every single designation: minority, disabled veteran, female, all of them. LGBT, which is also one that's just recognized by the state of New Jersey. The application that I came here with was for a consumption lounge and dispensary on day one, because Jersey City was one of the only municipalities that was allowing for that. They asked me to bifurcate my application, and there was no way in the world I knew bifurcation of my application would have me here in 2026, to the point that you still have my fees that I could pay my taxes with. With that,
You're talking about the annual licensing fee, right?
no, the application fee for escrow for consumption, which was accepted because licenses, you open the application for both on day one, which is why they accepted the application. My business model was made and based off of that. Jersey City has majorly impacted the success of all of our business because of their policy inadequacies, the inconsistency, even stating and, respectfully that he didn't have to come with an attorney. That was a cost that I paid once upon a time. So that's $20,000 that I had to incur that now is not consistent with the process. These are all sections of pools of money that we lost along the way. We also are the only dispensary in the nation that is fully owned, funded, and led by Black and brown people. We raised $1.1 million to open this store, and $211 was in holding fees, and we lost over $300,000 in runway because the state approved. The reason why we bifurcated our application was because Jersey City felt there wasn't enough information from the state to draft their ordinance properly. Once the state rolled out their information and their rules or their regulation around it, they developed an ordinance here, and the state opened their process. The state's process for cannabis was for equity. It was for medicinal patients, everything that Council Mondello had stated before. So with that, social equity was allowed to apply January 2025. Disadvantaged businesses is March 2025. And then everybody, the floodgates was open in July 2025 because the state was trying to give us a head start so that we can build our business. We are in 2026. That is $300,000 of runway that I lost. To add insult to injury,
What does runaway mean?
runway is the time frame that we would have made that money had we had that model instituted in our business.
And lost revenue.
Lost revenue, sorry.
Let me ask you a question. And I don't discount anything that you've said. I've sat here a long time, as frustrated on this side of the panel as you and others on that side. And I think you remember me during those hearings. And yes, you hit all the marks of why the state moved forward to, legalize cannabis. Should we decide to move forward, and I'd like to do that, how long will it take you to get the approval before you can actually open, but pay off the fees?
Well, the story gets more fun. So after 1 year of opening, that very high 25, that all the fees that Hatham referred to, I also pay the same. And I probably have a little bit higher of rent because I didn't own the store before, and I'm also in the Heights. I have 2 floors, and my store was actually a business that was not open since 1970. So we added capital improvement to that building, where my landlord's taxes are now $40,000 because of that, and we fully outfitted, which was a disgusting garage once upon a time. It actually wasn't even zoned. So we waited for it to be rezoned because we also were trying to make sure that we weren't having any competitors around us. So after opening for 1 year and it not turning out to be what we thought it was going to be, this is September 2025, I took a job to make enough money to inject into this business. I then came up on our 1 year anniversary in October. I was hit by a car on Van Horn and broke my leg in 3 places. I actually am not even supposed to be walking, and as a pedestrian, by the way. And then sold the house on Van Horn so that I can refund this business yet again. So I also no longer live in Jersey City nor have any any properties here, because I have taken every ounce of dollar that I have ever worked for. Prior to opening this business, when Hatham said he was here in September 2021, I was coming home from a tour. That same place that we all watched just get bombed is where I was serving. And I came home because I had an opioid addiction that was forming, and cannabis saved my life. I owned other businesses in this city. I'm very well known in this city. I do a lot of community leadership and activism, and a lot of it is related to education. I'm also a professor at HCCC. And what I ended up having to sell everything here to make this happen. So that last amount in November was literally so that I can come to this board.
How much is owed?
It's 2 quarters, but when that meeting was canceled, and then in December it was canceled for the runoff, I could no longer keep up. So this was my last lifeline because my business was already supposed to have this. So quite frankly, I feel like Jersey City kind of owes me money because everything that I lost, I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know the time frame, and I also don't even know if I'm going to yield success at this point. This is simply to make my business the original differentiator that I knew that it could be, because when I looked to get private equity, because you all also know that we can't just get money anywhere. And it was one thing when you were fundraising to start something, but now that everyone has seen the landscape, which has been solely manufactured by many municipalities' irresponsibility, it is reflected on the industry, and now no one wants to give us any money. So anytime, and you have to understand, I'm one of the premier operators out here. I have a podcast, I educate, I do so much in the community, and even then, no one wants to touch my store with a 10-foot pole as soon as I tell them I'm in Jersey City. So the original point of this program, at least from an equity standpoint, was to give restitution to the war on drugs. And many of us are not only being harmed twice, but I lost every asset that I've ever had that I won't even come out of this hole. So having a consumption lounge where there's only 1 per ward is the differentiator that I need for people not to be terrified by 48.
So I think that we want to help you. I'm trying to figure out a way to do that. Like I said, you hit all the marks of why the state approved cannabis. Once again, how much do you owe?
Only 2 quarters, and it's
But
probably...
give me a number, because I don't know what a quarter is.
Oh, great. So the first quarter is, every quarter has standard...
Want to go into that, because then everybody knows what her sales are.
Oh. Okay.
And not for nothing, that's what I was going to say. It's not even a lot because my sales are low. Once I couldn't function, I actually closed once upon a time. And the state came in and supported me. They gave me a grant last minute to reopen the store.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think I have a solution,
Sure,
if I
let's go
might.
with it.
There is nothing binding this board from making a recommendation or not making a recommendation for this applicant, and it need not be contingent upon anything. You know, we are not the money collectors. Now, I have no idea what the city council will do, because I'm sure they'll be educated as to this deficit. They may have no issue with it. It's their money. So I'm comfortable advising the board that we could go forward and not make that a contingency upon recommending this particular applicant.
I'd like to hear, I'm in favor of that. Like I said, and, you know, most of the board doesn't know me, but the staff does, and the attorney. I fight for what I think is right, and I fight against what I think is wrong. The system in Jersey City politically was totally screwed up, and she's paying the consequences for it. I'd like to give her the chance, because the state did this to have someone like her readdress the harm that was done to her through addiction. And I'd like to see her open. So, you know, I'd like to hear from the board members, because basically I don't make the only decision.
As far as I'm concerned, whatever we can do to help you, we would be doing help you. I think that we should try and give you back whatever fees were happening in those 2 years before your start. I know we can't really do anything in terms of your lost revenue. You know, hopefully what the state has done has been helpful towards that. As far as I'm concerned, I think she should be some kind of recompense for the 2 years, and some sort of I don't know how, extension, whatever you want to call it, that will allow her to at least get comfortable again and regain some of her footing before we start, you know, taking taxes, taking fees, all of that. Again, you know, the city council just gave themselves a raise because they understand what the fiscal difficulty is out here. I would like this board to further influence them to do the same for the petitioners like Maria Elisa here, right here.
Right, and if the board would allow me, on behalf of the members of the board, when her application goes up, to talk to the council directly.
Yeah.
As a unified voice of the
Yeah,
commission.
and if you need a petition or us to do anything in terms of supporting you written, I'm more than willing to do that, particularly in this case.
No, you're right, again,
As a matter of fact, I'm really going to go off. I think that might be a newspaper thing.
well, you know something? You know, the system, you know.
There are ways that, there
We
are
can-
things that we can do, and we've heard some this evening. We could propose a hearing of hardship and then recommend to the city council that they not seek a particular annual fee for a certain applicant, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea what they would do with something like that, but I know that the board is intending on recommending several ordinance changes. And we'll see where we go from there.
Right, and like I said, you know, I would go to the council and directly talk to them in their caucus and relay the message from us. I think that we are volunteering our time on behalf of the city, and we want to see the residents succeed that deserve to succeed, and given the opportunity. So, I think we have the ability to move forward, to hear the rest of the application, and then vote on it and see if we can convince the council.
I completely agree.
Any other testimony?
Thank you. Yes, we appreciate that. Yeah, so why don't we walk through the application quickly? Can you explain what your existing model is and how consumption fits into that?
Absolutely. So it's a 2-floor facility, and the downstairs is 1950, and upstairs mirrors that a little bit. It is a separate facility, so the downstairs has one complete separate door. My background is I did 10 years as a military police officer, and I worked for the MTA also in the same capacity. So security is my background. I made sure that we had a vestibule upon entry, and then that wall that breaks between where the dispensary is and where the vestibule is a steel wall. So that's a separate entrance, and it's RDFI, and then right next door is a separate entrance to the lounge. The lounge has a small platform. You'll go up the steps. Depending on funding, we are really, really trying to make sure that we could actually make it ADA accessible. As a disabled veteran, that's something that's very important to me. But sadly, with the model of consumption for the state, it had to either be under, on top, or side by side. So it was a very difficult model to work with. Once you get to the top, we'll have where someone will check you in, and then it'll be really an open space. And my intention is really to make it more wellness oriented. I used to own a wellness facility that sadly this endeavor kind of also impacted, but it was a wellness business that, we had yoga, meditation, salt cave, infrared sauna. A lot of my healing practices for my own experience and service has been through these mechanisms. So I really want to make a facility that mirrors that. That's why the business is called The Other Side. It's supposed to be representative of the other side of my life, but also the other side when people say where the grass is always greener. So, another aim of mine is to continue to professionalize cannabis. For many years, I wrote policy, and I wrote this entire application from day one. And I always wanted to make sure that people are educated when it comes to cannabis, and that people see that, there's many of us that have high level and high professional jobs, and we consume. There's a lot of parents that they're finding ease in this. Instead of coming home and having a glass of wine, they're taking a gummy. So I really want to professionalize this and make it so that this could be a workspace. We're not really too much into the events. I really want it to be a community-oriented space that people can come and just work during the day, consume, and that we can host different events like yoga or, more integrated wellness. Odor control, we have made sure that, our downstairs, we've kind of prepped it because I don't have my top build out. Another sort of injury along the way was that planning was a part of the process, and then it was changed along the way. I incurred $30,000 going to the planning board for that whole process. And they wouldn't allow me to do my consumption lounge because I hadn't done this process yet. So I do have a raw space, but we've made sure that all the HVAC was lined up so that when we prepared that, and then we also have contracted different ventilation companies. There's some that are very specific to cannabis called Aero Pro that are filtration systems to clean the air, suck the air in, clean air out. What else do we got?
Security protocol.
Security protocols. So a lot of the gentlemen that were up here were very correct, and we're not paying for security anymore. When you really look at how much it is to operate these businesses, I don't know about everybody else, but my run rate is about $75,000 to $100,000 a month just to break even, to pay people, to pay my rent. And then we have a lot of external costs that other businesses just do not have, security costs. And then also because cannabis is so new, people are just kind of taking out what they can. So the software companies are more expensive than a regular business. So we're not paying for security. However, when it comes to the lounge, that is going to be something that we re-implement, at least in the beginning. I'm a proponent of let's kind of lead with the safety and let everybody get comfortable and see if this is really a need. If it's not a requirement from the city, and I don't believe that the armed guard is in the ordinance, the other thing is that there was a lot of pressure that came from this board. There was one woman that came in here, but there were hundreds of people here at one time, and they all were giving their opinion on how they felt their perception of this was, which put pressure on us to add bills to our businesses that were not sustainable. So now it's not really a risk. I think I'm pretty good at securing it myself too, just because of my background. But we also have an amazing community that wants us there. They have, I mean, I have one of my customers here who has become a really good friend. And just, you know, I'm part of a women's group in the Heights and we all support each other. I'm also one of the only women that own a dispensary in the city, so that's a thing. What else we got? Security, odor.
Community impact.
Community
Kinda
impact.
touched upon it, so.
Yeah, that just goes so far. I'm a part of this community through and through. I sit on the county, the Hudson County Chamber Board of Commerce board. I'm a board of director there. You told everybody to create an alliance. I tried to do that in the chamber, right? We tried to, because it's so contentious amongst us, right? That no one trusts each other. So I agree that we did need that unified voice, and I tried to create it through the chamber, but that was also a challenge. So I find what I try to have my advocacy go for, because in a strategic way, when you just come with cannabis, people are so like, but when you come with small business, women-owned business, so I try to do a lot of advocacy in the community when it comes to supporting small business, what it means for us. I have a lot of educational platforms. I am an active professor. I have alliance with different groups, but outside of those different groups, you know, I think one thing that I've always been commended on is kind of like doing my own thing. When Stacey Flanagan was once here on the board, she had said that she appreciates that I create my own initiatives. You know, from 2016, I created Operation Boots on the Ground. I did my first tour in the Middle East, and I sent over 200 boots from over here for veterans that didn't have boots in the winter. That's the kind of thing that I do. There's a lot of nonprofits in the city, and they all do a lot of great work, but sometimes everybody's pulled different places, and I feel like when you want to do something good, you just do it. And that's how we kind of do. We keep the neighborhood clean, we blow outside, we send our neighbors to each other, we help the economic process, and that's really our mentality in the Heights.
You know, when the time is right, you can deal with the physically disabled by putting a chair lift on the side of the wall. It won't take up.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah.
It's the 50,000 bite. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
Down the road,
But
down the road. You know, small steps. Are there any other questions? Any other comments that you want to put on the record?
No, that's all.
All right. Anybody from the audience? One person over there.
If I could just supplement my opinion that
Go
we
ahead.
can go forward regardless of the 2% municipal tax. So the way that is dealt with statutorily, it is considered a property tax, and it is equivalent to a property tax. So if the city council, despite the fact that we have recommended this applicant, they can place a lien on the property for the 2% that is owed. So I think that further supports my argument that we have nothing to do with that. If they make the decision to do that, that's their own accord.
I would like for us to then recommend that they don't do that.
Yeah, I
Period.
agree.
Period. Just recommend that they do not take a lien on this and explain again. And if you need the numbers, I can give them to you here. 2011 and deposit loss, 300,000 in lost revenue, the amount of things that she's been paying. Nah, don't let them get away with it. The council is here to serve the people. Let's make sure that the people are served.
I think that my position on this is going back to the original start, that this law was put into place to correct the sins of the past. And if we have, and the multinationals have come in who have plenty of cash to take everybody else out. If we have the opportunity in helping someone who checks off all the boxes and was a Jersey City resident, and by the way, no matter when you leave, you're always a Jersey City resident. You can't get out of your system. As much as people try, they can't get it out. I say that we go the full length and ask for an amendment into the ordinance that deals with those special issues.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what kind of reception we'll get, but hey, you know, I'll push for it.
Jeff,
No.
may I if I can just make one more comment. I actually wrote 2 economic impact papers to support the city in understanding the guidance from a very non-biased perspective. I wrote the first one in September, which was explaining what would happen in the next 6 months if the city didn't take action. I predicted that Iced Tea was going to close because I'm only surviving because of the community, quite frankly. He didn't have the community engagement.
On
He was
Conley
in,
Avenue. Right.
yeah, and the bad location. So all of those things compounded. The newest paper says what's going to continue to happen because, as Hatham stated, there's not enough dialogue between what the ordinances and what the policies and the legislative and the lived experience of us. In Washington, D.C., and just because of my background in policy, we went places to learn things, best practice. And I didn't see that here. It was so disheartening. Why didn't we hire an economist to measure what 300,000 can deal with from a sustainability and a saturation standpoint? Like, what are the other places that have failed and did things differently? So in my paper, I talk about Washington, D.C., which has a new program, and they waive the taxes and the renewal for the C applicants, which they consider social equity applicants. They have a separate process for their municipal while the state has their process. So while our state has a process, this board doesn't have a process. They have a will to want more diversity, but it's not in their actual grading metric. So in Washington, D.C., for 3 years, those applicants don't pay any of that because they understand that we need to stabilize our operation.
Could you do me a favor? Could you send those papers
Yes.
to
Absolutely.
staff? They will distribute it to us, and it's something that I want to read and use.
You have them, Jim.
Yeah.
We have them.
Oh, you have it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, that would be very
Please.
helpful.
Very
Yeah,
helpful.
I'd like to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments?
That's all I have. Thank you for listening.
Right. Any comments from the members here? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
So does that motion?
Okay, I'll make the motion,
include
right.
What Arnold,
Go ahead. I make a motion that we approve the consumption lounge with the ability to ask the city to, with the understanding that there are back dues owed on it, but asking the city to amend their redevelopment, their ordinance to take into account the social equity operators get the benefit.
so I don't think the resolution is a vehicle to ask them to change an ordinance. I think that we should come up with some suggestions and show them exactly what the language in the ordinance should be. However, I have no problem putting something to the effect that we respectfully request that no lien be placed on the property, which is pretty innocuous.
Okay. So strike that, and basically, I make a motion to approve this application, regardless that there is no up-to-date payments, and we will request that the council, all my requests to the council, to the mayor and everybody else will be on the record in front of the council members on your behalf. In fact, when that is on the agenda, I would strongly suggest that you show up.
I will.
And the two of us will talk to them.
So,
There you
Mr.
go.
Chairman, am I striking that since you're going to be doing it orally?
Yes.
Okay, and you're the motion maker? All right. Is there a second on that?
Nice second that.
Chairperson Kaplowitz,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Napiowski.
What you described, what you went through, was horrific, and the fact that you still want to do this endeavor, kudos to you. And I just, I really, really hope that this ends up being successful for you. I really do hope that that there is some positive outcome at the end of all this. And but having said that, I vote aye.
Commissioner Stovall.
I want to thank you for your service.
Yes.
And then secondly, want to thank you for being the shining example of what this program was supposed to do. And then thirdly, I got your back, whatever they're doing. We really I want to see your story get out there, and I want to see you be successful so aye on all counts.
Commissioner Pepe.
Yes, I mean, to echo what everyone said, I agree. I think what's happened to you is the opposite of what any of us want to see happen. I think I speak for everyone here when I say that. So, yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you. I just have a quick administrative question. For the consumption, the state form requires that it be signed by a zoning officer. Procedurally, what's going to happen now?
Okay, what happens? I don't even know that.
I don't know how the ordinance addresses that. I just thought a recommendation to the, go ahead.
Yes. There's a
The
state
form.
form that we can have signed, but that would take place after the resolution that's approved by the council.
So it's going to go to resolution?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will show up on behalf of the board, and you'll show up, and we'll make our arguments why you deserve to move forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we could get a chance to just talk with you before.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because
Oh, no,
I
no.
definitely want to read your report. And, yeah, and between her and Hatham, there's quite a bit that
Right.
we need to tell the council.
You guys, everybody can good a statement, and I will read that statement on behalf of the entire board.
Sounds good.
So, I'm reading between the lines of what Rose just said. She would have liked to see a resolution passed tonight so that she can, move this along for her client.
The state is pending our application. They ping us the same way that he was saying that they asked about the applications. They do the same thing for us. So they've had our application since March 2025, and they have an investigator that they have contact us every quarter.
Can we issue a letter?
I have one question, though.
Yeah.
You said from the zoning officer that signed
Yes,
that
so if you
application? I
read-
thought it was a council person.
No, if you read the CRC form that you
Okay.
have to submit, which is what they need to submit, it just needs to be signed by the zoning officer of the
Oh,
municipality.
You already have the CDL, don't you? You have a zoning approval from an initial application.
Absolutely.
Have you submitted that back to the zoning officer?
So what happened is when we first got it, we sent it to zoning thinking this wasn't even going to be a process because it is such a simplified form. It's one
It is a
form
one-
with
yes.
one
One
line.
letter.
Yeah. So
Why don't you complete the form and send it to us right away? We'll try to move it to zoning, and there's a possibility that it won't go to council just for that part of your application, just to move that forward.
Yeah, because the purpose is it's just an endorsement to the application, so the state doesn't require a resolution for consumption.
But don't they need the city council to endorse it?
Yes.
Not just some
I would-
zoning.
So
think
the
so.
way that the way the CRC has done it is they've just asked you to submit this form. If you and if you read the form, it's just required to be signed by the zoning officer.
But so what
So
you're
without
saying-
any ordinance stating, directing anyone, it can, if the zoning officer is going to sign off on it, then that's all the state will take. We've actually had our ordinance in, what we do in East Orange is, because we've had a couple of these applications, we have a hearing. If they're approved, then we recommend to the zoning officer that he sign off, and that they've submitted that to the state. That's all they've needed.
And it doesn't go to
Goodbye.
council? It never goes to council in
No,
East Orange?
because the state is not requiring a resolution. The resolution was submitted at the retail part, when that license was issued.
Okay.
This is considered an
'Cause you're
endorsement
expanding.
to that
So
license.
there's
you're
an
expanding.
accessory use to the actual approval.
Exactly.
It's just an expansion of the.
Exactly.
Got it.
Okay.
Is Tanya still the,
Yes, I'll check into it for you.
that's why we were so shocked by this because we waited an entire year when the paperwork is just a one line. And even if we submitted it right now, the state having their process and the city, like even if we didn't go to the city council, the state still has to come back and reapprove it one more time. So say, for example, the council was like, no, you guys one-lined it. We don't want it. We're not going to move forward. The state can still say, well, you can't open because Jersey City didn't get you the final, because after you do your build out and your construction, they come back anyway.
okay, so that's a final review. But
Yeah.
for all
There's a
intents and
final
purposes-
inspection.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, when they get the zoning letter, you're pretty much on your way, and you just have to sign off on it.
They'll start moving
Yeah.
forward, yeah. And if we wait longer, right, like this going to the board, it's long. It's probably not going to be next month. It's going to be a month after. Then it takes 20 days for the ordinance to come into effect. We're talking about 4 months before I could even send this piece of paper to the state.
No, we can
Yeah.
actually move your application to the council within 2 weeks.
So it seems like
It's
there's
pretty
a
quick,
very-
but I think beforehand, I'll speak to the zoning officer just to see if that's something she'd be willing to sign because it was approved here. Because I think that's really just an expansion of the use, saying that the use is permitted.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is why they didn't require, the CRC does not require a resolution of support for consumption.
Great, I just learned something tonight.
So it sounds like their definition for municipal endorsement for a dispensary is very different
Yes.
than a consumption lounge.
Hey, all right. Well, hey, I hope that this works out. I hope that you finally become profitable, that you're not living day to day.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck to you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about? Good. I know, trust me. But you know something? This is a lot more enjoyable. Anyway, I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
By affirmation, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everyone.